past month.
Prices for some grocery items like cereal, pasta, rice, and apples all fell. And the markets do not like that news. The Dow is off 409 right now. That's over 1%. We're at 38,474. Coming up, well, the weather's nice. It's going to be a beautiful day. We'll check it next. KSL News Time is 9:02.
News doesn't just mean information or dates.
It's the story of our local history being told in real time.
Be a part of the story. This is Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon.
We hope to be a part of your story. We have you covered on KSL News Radio.
Say goodbye to morning traffic.
Good morning, baby, it's a brand new day.
And hello to Rome, Barcelona, and Santorini. When you sail Europe with Norwegian Cruise Line, you wake up to a new city nearly every day. And we make it easy to get there with free airfare for second guest. Visit ncl.com, call your travel advisor, or 1-888-NCL-CRUISE. Norwegian Cruise Line. Ships registry the Bahamas and USA. Restrictions apply.
The rest of my life gonna start today.
Hi, this is Doug Wright. There are so many wonderful things coming up right around the corner here in the state of Utah. Take, for example, Conference Weekend in downtown Salt Lake City. Where are you going to take those special visitors from out of town for a great, great dinner? How about Ruth's Chris Steakhouse? Or take the drive up Parley's Canyon and go to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse at Hotel Park City. The food is beyond compare. Whether it's a steak or seafood or poultry, whatever it might be, you will never have a better meal than the meal waiting for you at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. And the side dishes, the desserts, and the attention to detail, your serving staff is absolutely amazing at Ruth's Chris. And don't forget all the other great things that are coming up too. You know, maybe you're going to go to the theater, a movie, maybe you're going to head up and do a little skiing. The entertainment is waiting for you here in the state of Utah, and the great meal is waiting for you at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse.
This is Jeff Stout with Fink & McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple. It's no secret that mortgage rates have risen from historic lows over the last few years. In some cases, having a low mortgage rate can also act as so-called golden handcuffs when homeowners don't want to refinance and lose their rate. One solution to this is a home equity line of credit, or HELOC. HELOCs have higher rate than first mortgages, but they offer flexibility as they are a credit line that can be tapped into as needed. This is a way to take care of financial matters such as debt consolidation, home improvements, medical or college bills, or whatever without losing your current mortgage rate. And when rates come back down, you can refi and take out the HELOC. Call us if this is something you'd like to explore. Fink & McGregor, Mortgages Made Simple, 801-264-9494. That's 264-9494. Or on the web at finkmcgregor.com. NMLS 289115.
A happy place comes in many colors. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro Painters and make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters, that's painting happy. During our spring sales event, special offers are available through April 30th. Schedule your home painting project today and bring happiness home. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
It already feels like home.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And here's Heather Kelly.
We still have delays on the 201 freeway. This is eastbound as you leave Bangerter Highway and head all the way over to the West Side Belt. It's due to a crash that had been blocking the right lane and shoulder right underneath I-215. Now, a lot of the emergency vehicles are just now pulling away. So all the lanes are now open, but it's going to take time to clear out the slowdowns. If you're on northbound I-15, you're going to be slow most of the way from the point of the mountain coming out from Utah County all the way up to the Spaghetti Bowl where I-80 and 201 freeway meet I-15. Monster winds can cause huge damage to your roof that you can't see. Don't wait for a disaster. Go to the Masters at masterroofingutah.com to schedule your free windstorm assessment today. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
It's going to be a beautiful day. We'll see sunny skies with a high of 62. Tomorrow, more sunshine. We'll get up to 71. Right now, it's 48 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio.
Got a very precarious situation going on in Panguitch, which is not too far from Bryce Canyon, about an hour or so outside of Zion National Park. But that town is on standby to get out, just in case the dam breaks. Reading this morning on Newsweek, they're saying it's a 60-foot crack in the dam, Dave. National Weather Service in Salt Lake has issued a flash flood warning for the town due to this situation that's unfolding. They're like, just in case the dam goes, be aware there's flash floods. And then the sheriff has also posted a map to the town residents saying, this is the map of the evacuation zone, and if we need to evacuate, head east.
What in the world do you do to repair a dam that has a 60-foot crack?
It's 140 years old, and it appears that these cracks, or the crack is forming. They've added on to the dam, so it's in the extension area. They are trying to alleviate the pressure right now by draining part of the lake.
Just empty. Send it downstream.
But that's their reservoir too.
Exactly. 9:07. It's time for the launch.
Sequence engaged.
And here are 3 things Debbie wants you to know.
Countdown. 3.
So I saw the alert come over my phone at about 6 o'clock last night. The Garfield County Sheriff's Office putting an emergency alert. They're saying it's a level 2 alert on Facebook. Thankfully, lots of people sharing that post to warn, people who might be heading into that area. It's not too far from Bryce Canyon. And I also spoke to Division of Emergency Management early this morning. They're saying, the dam is old. They've got a public information officer, he's a good friend of the show, Wade Matthews, heading to that area this morning to help them get word out to the public about what they need to know. So we put him on standby. He's going into a meeting right now. We've put him on standby to call the show with the latest information. Our producers have already been calling down to the area, and we've got an owner of an ATV rental shop telling one of our producers, Alexi, that his shop is in the path of where this thing could go. So if fingers crossed, everything holds there in Panguitch, he's calling the show in the 10 o'clock hour to tell us how things look. Here's what authorities are saying about that crack.
We've noticed that there's some transverse cracking across the dam. There's an upper portion of the dam that has sustained some damage from the ice.
One thing that I've learned about myself, I do not know what the life expectancy of a dam is, and how many dams in Utah are in this situation where they built it decades and decades ago, and they're starting to wear down.
Countdown. 2.
We're reporting that Americans are spending like $1,000 a year on subscription costs, and they can be super pesky, especially with that auto renewal every single month or every year. I had it happen this week. I got pinged for $100. I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't expect that subscription to renew. And I think canceling them is like trying to hack NSA. So we're going to talk to a Utah lawmaker when we go right on the money in the 10 o'clock hour. He's cracking down on auto renewals and free trials.
I mean, we've all done this. You sign up for a week free trial, you forget to cancel, and then 3 years later you find out you've been paying for 36 months or something.
You've been there. I've been there. Who hasn't been there?
Yes.
I am Mr. Subscription, and I got dinged twice in the last month with these things that I had totally forgotten about. One was the $129 for my Major League Baseball subscription.
Yikes.
So I can watch my terrible team. And get this, $83.65 for beard growth vitamin oil. $83.65 a month? How large is this beard expected to grow?
What are you doing to yourself? That sounds so weird.
Hello, Duck Dynasty.
Launch countdown. 1.
We've got members of the International Olympic Committee in Utah today, tomorrow, and the next day. They're going to be touring our venue sites that have been left over from the 2002 games. And as I look around, Dave, I look around Salt Lake City, I sense that we haven't seen a lot of dramatic infrastructure changes since 2002. maybe that's like me not realizing I've gained 20 pounds because I'm looking at myself in the mirror every
day.
single day and I don't see that growth around my waist. But mostly I think this. I think Salt Lake City, I think Utah has 34, the Winter Olympics in the bag, and this visit is a lot for looks.
It is a lot for looks, but at the same time, you would never buy a home just on pictures, right? You got to walk through the house before you make that purchase, and I think that's ultimately what the IOC is doing.
Dave and Dujanovic.
The launch.
Commence.
Salt Lake City 2034. In-depth coverage on KSL News Radio.
Well, we understand it's happening right now at Rice-Eccles Stadium. We hope to take you there live in a matter of minutes. Leaders of Utah, Mayor Mendenhall, Mayor Jenny Wilson, also saw on the list Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson meeting with members of the Future Host Committee, kind of presenting our vision, Dave, of a 2034 games in Utah. But as I said, I think it's in the bag, but I'm sure we're going to put our best face forward.
Yeah, we have to, right? I mean, it is 10 years out, which is both a significant amount of time and also tomorrow. At the same time, there's an urgency. We have to get this locked up, and we're putting our best foot forward.
Peter Johnston, you've been tracking what these IOC members will be doing over the next couple of days in Utah. What can you tell us?
Debbie, I'm going to give you one guess about where they're going to start.
Rice-Eccles Stadium.
What?
Opening ceremonies?
Right next to the 2002 Olympic Cauldron.
Yeah.
Where else?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're going to be sitting
touring the stadium later today as well,
right.
after they get through the speeches and the announcements. But it doesn't look like they're going to be touring the venues until tomorrow.
Yeah, the one venue that they're going to hit up that's not quite a venue is Delta Center. And they're trying to lay out the red carpet. That's what's going on. And so after they have that meeting at Rice-Eccles, they're going to get on a very specially made just for them Trax train that's got a wrap all around it that says ready to move the world again. And then they're going to ride that thing down to Delta Center, and they're going to be talking about some infrastructure changes.
Okay. Well, we know Trax or UTA will be joining us on the show tomorrow to talk about the specifics of what Olympic visitors, once they arrive, and, obviously the athletes as well in Utah, what they can expect. I already think we have this thing in the bag, so I'm just going to talk about it as like it's a done deal. It's just a matter of dotting some I's and crossing some T's. But there's going to be some additions, it sounds like, with transportation. What can you tell us about that, Peter?
I mean, if you look at the infographic that was sent to us, you're looking at the difference between 2002. They have a side-by-side, 2002 and 2030. And 2002, you see this kind of little blue line moving through Salt Lake City. That's what Trax used to be. It wasn't that big at all. And then 2030, the plan is to have a line that goes all the way from Snow Basin to Provo. And it's just a big, long line on this map. Okay. And so I'd say that that's the biggest infrastructure change that they're going to be advertising there.
Wow.
As long as we don't have another luge situation where I-15 turned into this massive expansion, and it was a nightmare. It's been good. It was necessary, but it was a miserable experience for a number of years.
Peter, thank you so much. Thanks for helping us keep an eye on this. I know they're going to be in this, it looks like the Park City area on Thursday, Soldier Hollow on Thursday, so Summit County, get ready, and then Snow Basin. Isn't that your favorite spot, Dave?
That's my spot.
That's your favorite ski spot, Snow Basin up in Huntsville on Friday. And then the Olympic Oval, they're going to turn right back around, make a U-turn, come to the Kearns area. And so Kearns on high alert for their tour on Friday. So all wrapping up with a news conference on Saturday, probably before they head out of town. We expect an official decision as to whether Utah will get the Olympic Games. Actually, let's talk about that right after the break.
Dave and Dujanovic.
A lot of us are filling our workdays with podcasts.
When you're working, go to KSLNewsRadio.com.
Click on Dave and Debbie's podcast and pick a topic and story length.
Podcast with Dave and Debbie. Then get to work with KSL News Radio.
When it comes to your electrical system, do you know the warning signs to look for? What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and it's okay if you don't know, but here are a few things that you might not even realize could be a sign of a bigger problem. Wall plates that are hot to the touch, discoloration around switches or outlets, if you hear crackling or popping or buzzing around switches or outlets, a breaker that trips a lot, switches that feel loose when you operate them, if your lights dim or flicker when a major appliance comes on, if your plugs fall out of the wall easily. You know, you're not supposed to have to bend the prongs out on a plug just to get it to stay in the wall. If you notice any of these things, you should consider having a licensed electrician check your system out. If you don't know anyone, Any Hour Services has put together a radio-only special for any homeowners listening. One of our licensed electricians will perform a comprehensive electrical inspection and give you a full written report for only $29. But you have to mention this ad when you call. To schedule your comprehensive electrical inspection by a licensed electrician for only $29, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7300. That's 801-443-7300. Any Hour Services.
Want to know what is grinding things to a halt in Congress?
We have to face reality right now.
You should have been listening to Inside Sources and Boyd Matheson's interview with Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson.
We literally are operating right now with the smallest majority in the history of the Congress. When it came to funding the government, we either get the best possible product we can, or we just shut the government down.
For first-hand information from Inside Sources, listen each day. Boyd Matheson from 1 to 3 on KSL News Radio.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are sold.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Gabby.
Hey, Gabby. It's Jennifer Coolidge. Hi. I'm so glad I reached you at 2 a.m.
Oh, of course. Anyone with a Discover card can call and talk to a real person 24/7. Now, how can I help?
Yeah, I used my Discover card to buy these yellow pleather pajamas, and I'm just not sure I'm pulling them off.
24/7 U.S.-based customer service. It pays to Discover. Limitations apply. Learn more at discover.com/creditcard.
Hi friends, Dan the Laptop Man here from PC Laptops. I get a lot of emails from people all the time. Here's one. Dear Dan, I hear your talk about a lifetime service guarantee. Free? Really? Please help me avoid all your fine print and be honest about what free means. You understand that we should be very wary of a free offer. Signed, Skeptical. Hi, Skeptical. I remember 22 years ago when we started PC Laptops and our lifetime service guarantee, people thought it was too good to be true. Well, after a decade, people started believing me a little bit. But it's been 22 years of having the privilege to serve our friends and neighbors like you. Our lifetime service guarantee has become the most trusted warranty in the industry. You can get a brand new PC Laptops desktop computer, and they start at only $29 a month. Check us out at PCLaptops.com. That's PCLaptops.com. Here's to seeing you soon, Skeptical.
Hey, have you saved more than $200,000 in an IRA or 401k? You may not realize it now, but you've got a big problem on your hands. And that problem is taxes. Because if you don't take advantage of some tax planning strategies now, Uncle Sam could take a big chunk of your hard-earned retirement savings. Learn how you could reduce the taxes on your IRA and 401k with a free retirement tax savings analysis. It's from Boss Retirement Solutions. If you've saved more than $200,000, schedule your free tax strategy session now by calling 801-896-9622. Discover the tax planning strategies that could dramatically reduce your taxes in retirement. Call 801-896-9622. That's 801-896-9622.
Advisory services offered through Boss Retirement Advisors, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm. Insurance products and services offered through Boss Retirement Solutions.
Common Spirit Health. Hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advance healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Healthcare with human kindness is here. Hello, human kindness.
It is a big day for Utah to show its best face to members of the International Olympic Committee. They are in town for the next several days, taking tours of our venues. Also be taking a tracks ride this afternoon down to the Delta Center. Jeff Kaplan's afternoon news will be live as the IOC members arrive at the Delta Center. So check in with him during your afternoon drive home to see how things are going. I think we've got the games in the can for 2034, but Jeff will certainly weigh in with his own thoughts on that.
With the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Amanda Dixon. First, the opening statements in the trial of Chad Daybell are underway, and KSL News Radio's Adam Small is in the courtroom. We'll give you a live update on Jeff Kaplan's afternoon news. Second, the International Olympic Committee has landed in Utah and is about to kick off a venue tour. Third, West Bountiful Police have issued a silver alert for K. Prince Vest, and they think the 80-year-old might have been spotted last night near Downey, Idaho. Right now, it's 48 degrees in Salt Lake City. Back to Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Members of the International Olympic Committee in town, starting this morning. Big kickoff at Rice Eccles Stadium for their several-day tour of Utah and the venues. Dave, they're at the spot where it all began back in 2002.
Street and Granado met by Mike Eruzione from the Miracle on Ice hockey team of 1980 that won the gold medal, and along the way had the incredible upset of the Soviet Union.
That was such a moment.
Such an incredible moment, and just the perfect culmination of the torch run to light the cauldron, the 1980s hockey team. It was so incredible on so many levels, and I think it set a very high expectation of how that games would go. You don't bust out the 1980 all-time greatest Olympic gold in history unless you're ready to do something special, and that's exactly what we did here. We had an incredibly successful games.
Now, we know that the Olympic Committee, or members of the Olympic Committee, they're members of the Future Host Committee and others in town meeting with our elected officials, Salt Lake County Mayor Jenny Wilson, Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall. We saw that on the governor's schedule that this was slated for this morning on his schedule. I didn't see him on the list of the agenda for today, but we're trying to get a live feed right now out of Rice Eccles Stadium. And as soon as we do, we're going to take you there live as they kick off this several-day tour of Utah. It'll happen today, tomorrow, through. It sounds like they're wrapping things up on Saturday. But when I look at their visit here, I do feel like it is largely, I want to say, ceremonial, maybe more for looks, because as I look along the skyline across Salt Lake City and beyond, at least for me, it doesn't seem like a lot has changed infrastructure-wise, particularly with buildings and that. And we had the venues. And that, I think that right there is the carrot that will capture them, is the venues were already in place. I know there's a lot more sporting events at these Olympic Games than in 2002. We're going to talk to former Olympian Trace Worthington in just a moment about that. But what are your thoughts on that, Dave? That, there hasn't been a lot of changes. Again, as I said earlier in the show, that might be me looking in the mirror every day and not realizing I gained 20 pounds around the waist because I'm looking at myself every day.
For sure. I think we've taken for granted a lot of the apartment buildings and skyscrapers that are going up and hotels that have expanded. We've exploded just in the last decade. We're the fastest growing state in the nation. So I think you're right. I think we've looked at ourselves in the mirror for so long, we haven't realized we've aged and maybe we've gotten a few wrinkles here or there. So we've grown enormously. But the key here, I think, in what they're visiting is the venues. It's one thing to send people pictures and say, oh, look how beautiful they look. But just like if you're buying a home, you'd never buy a home just looking at pictures. You've got to do a walkthrough before you make that purchase. What they're going to find is that we have done not just a good job, a phenomenal job with these old venues. These are 20 years old. We have poured millions and millions of dollars into their upkeep, into their improvement, adding layers to it. It's involved the community. I remember going up to the bobsled track and riding with an Olympic gold medalist. That was available. That's how you've involved the community. You can buy a ride down a bobsled track. That kind of continued legacy has garnered support, money, everything you need to really lead up to this moment right here where we say, okay, we're ready for another one.
Well, one area I do want to take a step back and take a wider view of is certainly we have improved our transportation options since 02. Now, we went through the freeway expansion leading up to 02, which was absolutely miserable when they expanded I-15, but it made things easier during the Olympics. We already had tracks in place, but I did look at a side-by-side photo or graphic of what tracks look like or transportation thanks to UTA, look like in 02 compared to what it looks like going forward. And we've added, it looks like there's a lot more veins in the leg. Like there's tracks lines in many more places than there were back in 02. You think about Front Runner, which you've enjoyed taking over the years as well. That's now an option, which moves lots of people really quickly. And then also our freeways. We have more arteries into and out of the city. I think of the west side. Perhaps the Kearns Oval can be helped by what's now the Mountain View Corridor. And as they continue to make a Bangerter, what do we call that thing now? An expressway with stoplights at every other intersection. It's just horrible if you want to go anywhere fast. But UDOT has been working very vigilantly to make that a full-on freeway. So that'll certainly help as well. And then some up in Davis County too, which you know a lot about because that's your commute.
Yeah, Legacy, West Davis Corridor. Those are huge game changers. And what Front Runner has done, which essentially connects Ogden down to Provo even further, is we do have venues from Utah County to Morgan. So we go up and down the Wasatch Front, and having Front Runner allows for you to stay everywhere. You've opened up where visitors can stay to not just downtown Salt Lake. You can easily stay in Syracuse. You can stay down in Saratoga Springs. There are lots of areas, and then you can just jump on Front Runner, go up and down the Wasatch Front. There's going to be obviously a huge enhanced bus system during the Olympics, so we're not going to have everybody driving cars because public transit is completely different. It has revolutionized the way we travel for the Olympics.
Do you really feel strongly that the IOC members are going to get something out of this visit? More so than I do. I don't know that they're going to get any gee whiz moments out of it. I mean, I feel like the 2034 games are ours to lose. And by the way, we are supposed to know more, like officially, if we're going to get the games we think this summer. So fingers crossed we get the final nod.
July 24th?
I do. Yeah, I think it might be very appropriate day.
We're throwing a parade for everybody. Everybody gets a parade.
But you seem you think this visit's probably a lot more important than I feel like it is.
You're probably right in the end result. I think what's going to shock these members of the IOC is the quality and the standard of our venues. Because what usually happens when a nation hosts the Olympics is they build, and then all of these venues that hosted millions of people just fall into disrepair almost overnight. The fact that they'll be able to go to our venues and see pristine, beautiful, updated venues is going to shock them. Because nobody else does this. Nobody else reinvests or had the money. We had tens of millions of dollars set aside in a trust from all the money we made in the Olympics because it was run so affordably. And that money was set aside to preserve these venues. That is going to blow their socks off.
Let's get Trace Worthington, former Olympian, on the line next. He's calling the show. We'll ask him what he thinks about our venues because he now travels the world. He covers different ski sports events with NBC. So he is very familiar with the different venues all over the world. Trace calling the show in about 4 minutes.
9:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Amanda Dixon. Our top story this hour, a child tax credit bill is stalling in the Senate after some major changes. KSL News Radio's Alexandria Bonilla reports.
This bill builds on the $78 billion Tax Relief for American Families and Workers Act. It passed in the House shortly after the year started. It would increase the child tax credit, multiplying it on a per-child basis and adjusting the credit amount for inflation. Idaho Senator Mike Crapo helped start the bill, but after changes to allow unemployed parents to cash in on the credit, he's killing it. He said the change transforms the credit from a working family tax relief into a government subsidy. Senator Mitt Romney is also opposing the bill, saying it will end up being another, quote, hugely expensive entitlement program. Alexandria Bonilla, KSL News Radio.
Catholic Community Services says their share house shelves are emptying fast and they need your help. That'd be Storehouse, I imagine. KSL TV's Lauren Steinbrecher has more.
CCS Refugee and Migration Services Director Aidan Batar says they're going through donation faster than normal.
Because of the heavy refugee arrivals that we have had the last few months.
They desperately need items like diapers, clothing, cleaning supplies, toiletries, kitchenware, furniture, car seats.
Workers are concerned the lack of supplies will leave parents choosing between basic supplies and rent. Little Cottonwood Canyon will be closed at 1:30 this afternoon for avalanche mitigation. Officials say to plan on leaving early if you're going out to Snowbird for one last run. The closure will end around 3 p.m. Your money at this moment, the Dow is off today, 457 points. That's 1 2/10%. We're at 38,426. Lots of sunshine today, and we'll be a little warmer than yesterday. We'll check KSL weather just ahead. KSL News Time, 9:32. You know what's great about KSL's traffic coverage? Trained traffic reporters and real listeners.
Trading information and making the commute safer and faster for everyone.
Every 10 minutes on the nines, we have you covered on KSL News Radio.
Hey, folks, let me tell you, if you have a family member that is struggling with alcohol or drug addiction, you are not alone. Millions of Americans deal with this, and Renaissance Ranch wants to help not only your loved one, but you as a family as well. They offer free family support services.
Yeah, Renaissance Ranch really does help create the healing and hope process that families need, because if you have a loved one who is trying to deal with addiction, it is so easy as their family member to lose yourself. And so this is what's so great about the Renaissance Ranch free online classes. They offer several of them a week. So all you need to do is go to renaissanceranch.com and find out how to sign up for those.
More than 1,000 people attended these classes last month, which is, I think, inspiring. Because so much love and support is out there. They know when family members and loved ones are involved. Research has proven that a positive outcome is much more likely. Again, these are free online classes.
And they're faith-based, and they're clinically proven for more than 20 years. Again, Renaissance Ranch, they treat the entire family.
Just go to renaissanceranch.com to learn more.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older-adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
Check out AMCO's multiple financing options, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow.
AA MCO.
You know that feeling? You rake up all that crud in your garden after a long, hard winter, and you give your grungy deck a good pressure wash after a long, hard winter, and then you see your air conditioner out there and think, how do I make sure the AC is okay after a long, hard winter? Whipple that away. Checking your AC in the spring to make sure it's ready for summer is my job. Make your problem my problem. Whipple Service Champions. To book your $27 AC tune-up, visit whipplethataway.com.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's Dino Pay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And here's Heather Kelly.
We're finally back to freeway speeds on I-15, the east and west side belt routes, and the 201 freeway. But you are going to see delays on Bangalore Highway northbound between 104th and 98 south, and again between 5400 and 4700 south. Both of those areas are due to construction. And there's a crash northbound I-15 right at the point of the mountain coming out of Utah County, but it's over on the left shoulder, not blocking lanes. Revere Health encourages you to schedule your preventative care and annual checkups to help increase the potential to live your most healthy and active life. Revere Health, your partner in health, your partner in life. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
We should see sunny skies today with highs around 60. Tomorrow will be warmer with the highs in the 70s. Right now it's 52 degrees. I'm Amanda Dixon from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories. On KSL News Radio, Salt Lake City 2034. In-depth coverage on KSL News Radio.
It does feel like we've got this in the bag. But we'll know for sure this summer. For now, though, the members of the International Olympic Committee are at Rice Eccles Stadium. You can check out that venue today, and also head down to the Delta Center, which is where figure skating was held during the 2002 Winter Games, Dave. But I'm curious to hear from an Olympian, a former Olympian, what he thinks the IOC will be up to and looking for while they're here.
You are trying to jinx us in the worst way.
I am a little bit worried about that.
I mean, it is absolutely the worst thing you can do. Like, oh, this is in the bag. It's a done deal. You're the kind of person that's like, is that pitcher throwing a no-hitter? That's amazing. That no-hitter in the fifth inning, you are the jinx.
Olympian Trace Worthington, welcome back to the show.
Hey, guys. How are you? Good morning.
Good. We're excited. How do you think we have it in the bag?
That's pretty funny. I do agree a little bit with Dave too. You know, you don't want to jinx things, but yeah, I think we're looking great. Very good shape, and you know, as all the reports have indicated, I think all the venues are in place. I think that the IOC is going to be very impressed today when they have their visit.
Trace is an athlete. There's nobody more superstitious than an athlete. So I appreciate you walking this back just a little bit, Trace. But I do want to talk about the venues. You know, you've been in world-class venues all over the world. Can you give us an idea what the venues are like right now, and what quality and what shape are they in?
I mean, the venues that I'm aware of are in incredible shape, and we have a great problem of having multiple areas that can host, right, from alpine racing to freestyle skiing, and you know, so that's the bonus. We're not looking at like one facility that could do it. We have Deer Valley Resort, who hosts international freestyle skiing events, moguls and aerials for years, and have proven to be the premier stop on the World Cup circuit for moguls and aerials. And not only that, but now we have the Olympic Park, Utah Olympic Park, built out, you know, which now has mogul space. It has alpine training lanes. It has all kinds of stuff up there now too. So I think we're in really good shape in terms of choices. But you know, I can tell you from an athlete's perspective, they love coming here. The freestyle, some of the snowboarding events at Park City Mountain Resort. It's, again, from an athlete perspective and from the athletes that I speak to when I do commentary for NBC, is amazing. They love it here.
Trace Worthington competed in the Olympics back in the 90s. Obviously, you just heard he's a commentator as well. You've been all over the world. I watch your coverage. I want you to, though, take a step back here and think about this, comparing us to, you know, other places. Do we have any warts that we need to be worried about at all?
Have any what?
Warts.
Excuse me?
Like warts. Anything we got to be looking
No,
at? Like any,
warts. That's what I thought you said.
Any
No,
negatives?
I think, our weather is incredible. So that's the other thing, too. In comparison to other places that I've been to around the world, they're very spread out. And so in terms of weather, there's a variety of weather conditions that roll in. For instance, in 2010 in Vancouver, raining down in the Cypress area and dumping snow up in Whistler. And then, you have a lot of wind. We have very consistent weather and dry snow conditions here in Utah. It is, the reason why we call it the greatest snow on earth, because it is. And, our weather really suits the Olympics well because we don't risk as many delays as other venues around the world, including China at the last Olympics and even Korea before that. We have very consistent conditions, and I love the proximity of all of the venues. I mean, we're tight, from, like I said, from Deer Valley, Park City, Olympic Park, all the way down to the Delta Center, and then go south a little bit, obviously to Kearns and the Oval. We're very tight and compact, which is a spectator's dream for the Olympics.
Absolutely. We do expect one of the big changes to be many more competitions. It has just grown so much over the years. There is an estimation about 40% more competitions in 2034 than there was back in 2002. What are some of the new competitions out there that we may have not realized that are exciting?
I think the ones that I'm aware of, the one that I'm excited about is mountaineering, which is great. It's it's basically, I don't know the exact rules of mountaineering, but ski mountaineering is going to be a new event that I think will cater Utahns well. We have a lot of people who do that and participate in Utah, and so we're looking at medal hopes in that particular discipline. But I'm sure some new stuff will pop up once we, again, crossing fingers that we get the bid for 2034. Then there will be some new events, I'm sure, that will be introduced based on what we, Salt Lake City 2034, would like to have or accept as new sports.
Mountaineering sounds amazing. I love all these new competitions.
Yeah, thanks, Trace. Always fun to have you on the show. Appreciate you taking time out to talk to us and give us your insight from your expertise, not only being an Olympian, but also traveling to cover the games as well. We just got this in. Fraser Bullock, he's the CEO of Salt Lake City's bid for the 2034 games, just kicking off that event. Just moments ago, it sounds like, with the International Olympic Committee at Rice-Eccles Stadium, Dave. So things are underway up there. It sounds like, I don't know exactly how large the contingent is. I do know who was on the agenda for this morning from the IOC. It's several members of the IOC. Looks like future host commission chair and the future, other members of the future host commission. Obviously, that is the committee that is assigned to check out what the future hosts have been up to and what the promises are for the upcoming games. They'll be traveling across the state, to Snow Basin, over to the Kearns Oval. Looks like they're heading up to the Park City area tomorrow, so they will stay busy over the next several days. They're here till Saturday.
And they do have to look to the future as well, because as good as things are right now, as well as we have done with the venues, there are still question marks out there. And for example, mountaineering, these things that have been announced, you have to show them, okay, you don't see it now. We don't have everything built, but this is what we could turn this place into. And that's an important step in this.
We have another developing story in Panguitch, which is a few hours south of the Salt Lake City area, just about 40, maybe 30 minutes from Bryce Canyon. They are keeping a very close watch on a quickly developing situation at the dam at Panguitch Lake, where Newsweek is reporting there is a 60-foot crack, and they've put the town on standby to watch for possible evacuations.
We've noticed that there's some transverse cracking across the dam. There's an upper portion of the dam that has sustained some damage from the ice.
I'm going to walk you through what I've learned this morning about this crack in the dam, Dave, straight ahead. And we're also hoping to go live down there where we know the Division of Emergency Management has been called down there to give them some assistance. So we hopefully will be hearing from them in just a few moments on the latest situation. And also a guy who owns an ATV rental shop talked to one of our producers this morning. He goes, I'm in the path of this thing. So he's calling the show as well in the next few minutes.
Dave and Dujanovic.
You know KSL is the only news radio for your car, right?
The only news radio for your smart speaker.
Come here in the morning. It's the latest news and traffic. In the afternoon, news and updated weather.
We have you covered at KSL News Radio.
A wise sage once said, a home is a work in progress. Obviously a sage who lived in a 3-bedroom fixer-upper. When you own a home, you know you're going to personalize it to make it yours, which makes good business sense as well when it's time to sell. So start with the folks who can make the magic happen. Hercules Credit Union. A Hercules Credit Union home equity line of credit is just 3.99% for 6 months, which means let the changes begin. Invest in the maintenance projects you've been putting off. Going solar, remodeling the bathrooms, building a new deck, or maybe adding another bedroom as the family grows. Hercules will loan up to 80% loan to value on your home. There's no origination fees either, and it's as simple as using your Visa card for easy access to funds. Get details now at HerculesCU.com. HerculesCU.com. Hercules Credit Union. Growing stronger together. Rates based on approved credit. Equal housing lender. All accounts insured to $250,000 by NCUA.
You trust us for news and information in your car. Now trust us at home. KSL News Radio has you covered, keeping you informed on the latest breaking news, weather, traffic, sports, and more. Listen on your Amazon Echo or Google Home device. Just say, Alexa, open KSL News Radio. Or listen on the KSL News Radio Listen app. Text the word app to 57500. KSL News Radio. We have you covered.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular's single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Posters, flyers, signs, and menus for less? Think Staples. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. Now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Same-day service available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. And all backed by Staples' Print Perfect guarantee. So it's done right or it's printed again free. Staples, your local print and marketing expert. N61, visit staples.com/print for details.
When you think of Utah's homeless, who do you see? They are people with names and faces. And many are in dire circumstances. They are men and women, and sometimes children. Many are living on the street, in a car, or in a shelter. Some choose to be homeless. Most do not. Many experience the challenges of addiction or mental illness. All are vulnerable. Homelessness is a crisis, one that affects us all. Utah is building a coalition of community leaders and concerned citizens united to end the plight of homelessness. Homelessness should not mean hopelessness. Learn more at projecthumandignity.org. A message from Utah Impact Partnership.
Weekend Warriors, barbecue brawlers, driveway toy haulers. Let Geneva Rock's Ready Mix Concrete be your outdoor extension solution. Geneva Rock assists DIYers and provides contractor referrals. Visit GenevaRock.com/DIY.
If you want all the latest news, the latest breaking news, push notifications, make sure you download the KSL News Radio app, something I used every single day. It's designed specifically for the news radio fans here in your life. It is different than the KSL app that you probably already have on your phones, so just download the free app at kslnewsradio.com.
For the 3 things you need to know this hour, I'm Amanda Dixon. First, Garfield County Sheriff's deputies are warning residents near Panguitch Lake of a possible evacuation and flood due to damage on the dam. Second, the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources is looking for a suspect after a bald eagle was shot near Cedar City back in February. Third, the presumed remains of a 19-year-old man who went missing back in May of 2022 were discovered in a remote part of western Box Elder County. Right now it's 52 degrees in Salt Lake. Back to Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic.
We've got a really rapidly developing situation. It's happening down in the Panguitch Lake area. If you're wondering where Panguitch Lake is, it is an awesome fishing spot. It is also in some real dire trouble right now because of the dam that looks like it's ready to give. Newsweek is reporting, Dave, that there's a 60-foot crack in the dam. And I just spoke a little while ago to the Utah Division of Emergency Management spokesperson, Wade Matthews, good friend of the show. He was, in fact, on yesterday helping walk us through some earthquake how-tos and what not to do in an earthquake. He's heading down there to help the Garfield County Sheriff's Office with, communicating what is going on. But we were talking as he was driving, and I said, it seems like that dam is old. It's 140-ish years old. And from my understanding of it, there's been some additions made. And just looking at what other news organizations have been reporting, that maybe those that crack or cracks is a result of the aging dam combined with the, freezing and contraction of ice. We've seen videos, thanks to KSL5 TV, been down in that area, and it does look like that is a significant crack. So I want to walk you through what we know so far about this over the next couple of minutes. I want to let you know we're going to have somebody who runs an ATV shop down there. Of course, it's very close to Bryce Canyon. Been down there numerous times. Love Panguitch. He's going to be calling the show to talk about what he knows in terms of being a resident there. They've kind of put the residents on standby to get out. So let me walk you through in just the next few minutes what we know. Because as I said, this pretty much has developed in just the last, 48 hours. That's how quickly everybody's been put on standby to potentially get out of the town.
And as I'm looking at the pictures from the Utah Department of Natural Resources, you can see that there's still snow around. So we're, in the heart of runoff season. It's starting to warm up. Lake levels or reservoir levels are starting to come up. So they're trying to bring it down. But you can see this big crack as the water is starting to come through and pour through this dam, which is extremely dangerous.
We do know that Panguitch Lake, and it's also a reservoir, so that hence the dam. Panguitch Lake is at about, it's close to 90% full. So, which is great. It's great to hear that the reservoirs are filled. We've been praying for that until the dam breaks. So, a couple of things. I look at this as kind of like a two-lane situation. First of all, I think the Garfield County Sheriff's Office, from what my take, hundreds of miles away, they've done a really good job of getting information out to the residents there. As soon as they spotted something, they may have waited a minute or two, but they put something online right away. And it was, on social media, very little information saying, hey, we might have a problem here. We're monitoring it. We've noticed some cracking. Well, about 24 hours later, they put out a really lengthy memo on social media saying that they were elevating their concerns to what they're calling a level 2 alert, that the cracking could indicate a potential for a dam failure. And then they put a map on like the evacuation area to make sure you listen for reverse 911 calls if you live in that area, to make sure you stay tuned to social media because they're going to continue to post information there. But they did put out, a several paragraph release to residents in that area saying this is a level 2 emergency situation. This happened last night. There is a potential for a dam failure. No immediate threat to the public safety, but they did warn that the situation could rapidly evolve. And that's what you're seeing there as that water breaches through that pretty big crack. And of course, the temperatures overnight compared to the warming during the day is causing that ice to, expand and freeze, and it's causing more troubles to that aging dam.
When they speak generally, like this is a rapidly evolving situation, this may change, I don't know what that means. Do we have a matter of minutes? Do we have a matter of hours?
I don't think they know. I think what they're doing right now, though, so the other lane of this is they've warned the public. The other lane of this is how do they mitigate the potential for a dam break?
Right.
And they've gone to work lowering those lake levels. So they can relieve, hopefully, fingers crossed, some pressure from that dam. But they have said things like stay informed, make sure you have an evacuation plan, make sure you have your evacuation kit ready to go. And then, of course, they have also, as a precaution, in that precautionary lane, they've closed the highway. It's Route 143, for those of you who are taking notes. I've taken that route many times. Many, many times, because I love that area and I love Cedar Breaks. That's an awesome monument, great hiking there. And then also to head over to Bryce Canyon, and I can't think of the name of the resort that's down there. But anyway, it's a beautiful summer drive. Love that area. But for right now, Highway 143 is closed as a precaution, and they have gotten into the nitty-gritty on some of their information that they're giving out to residents, about 1,800 strong there. Don't know if that includes everybody in the outlying areas, but about 1,800 people. Head east. They're like, make sure you head east toward Hatch. And the reason they're doing that is because they can't have people heading in the wrong direction. Also want to let you know that the National Weather Service is not taking this lightly at all. They have issued a flash flood watch for that region in the potential that dam could go. So they put that area on a flash flood watch. We're going to have them call the show in the 10 o'clock hour and give us the latest update on that.
And this is not totally unique. This is something that has happened in the past here in Utah. I think specifically of the dam that gave way after that massive flooding. How long was that? About 20 years ago down in St. George?
Okay, maybe it was 20 years ago.
Or maybe I'm mixing my dates.
Are you thinking of 2012?
Was it 2012? It felt like 20 years ago. But yeah, this has happened, and some of the things we're trying to figure out is how confident are they that they're going to be able to repair or mitigate some of the damage that happens or the pressure behind this dam. It's still some general knowledge that they're sending out, like, hey, just be aware. I would like to know some specifics of how confident are you that you're going to be able to slow this thing down.
So there's a shop, an ATV rental shop that sits on Main Street in Panguitch. David Walker is the owner of American ATV Rentals. He's calling the show next. We're going to ask him what the situation feels like and looks like down in Panguitch.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 10 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Dan Bonas. KSL's top story this hour. Opening arguments in the trial of Chad Daybell underway now in a case that could take weeks longer than Lori Vallow Daybell's case did. KSL legal analyst Greg Skorda says that's because Chad Daybell is facing the death penalty.
There's a guilt phase and a penalty phase. And so where Lori's trial went 5 weeks, Chad's probably going to go twice that amount.
Daybell faces charges of murdering his first wife, Tammy, and Lori Vallow Daybell's children, J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Ukraine was on the agenda when President Biden welcomed Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida to the White House this morning.
He did not hesitate to condemn, sanction, and isolate Russia and provide billions in assistance to Ukraine.
And are also talking about national security issues involving China. Your money at this moment, the NASDAQ down 181 points, but the Dow right now is down 507. And our KSL weather, just sunshine the next couple of days. That's next. KSL News Time, 10:01.
We hope you have the right app on your phone for news. You probably have dozens.
But the KSL News Radio app, well, it makes our live stream super easy.
Plus, our talk shows are right there as podcast for your workday.
That's the app for KSL News Radio.
Real Salt Lake's 2024 campaign is officially underway. And if you haven't felt the pulse of the riot at America First Field, you're missing out.
For the win. Diego Luna. Yeah! He'll have a go!
RSL is back. Rally behind Chicho, Diego Luna, and the squad as they embark on a journey to bring the cup back home to Utah.
Chicho hits it in!
Real Salt Lake. Get in on the action. Secure your tickets today. Visit rsl.com or call 844-REAL-TICKS.
In the history of the world, nobody has ever said, yay, we need a new roof. But when things aren't quite right up there, don't wait. Call IWC Roofing, the highest rated roofing contractor in Utah. IWC has been in business since 1997, and they offer the best value pricing in Utah, along with the best warranty in the business. They're one of the few Owens Corning Platinum certified roofers in the entire state. They have their own installers, no subcontractors crawling around on your roof. And at IWC Roofing, they'll send you pictures from up on the roof to show that you're getting exactly what you paid for. In most cases, they'll re-roof your home in one day. They'll clean up and pressure wash your driveway. IWC roofs more homes than any other company in Utah, so they can offer you a better price. And right now, an extra $1,500 off your new roof. Call IWC Roofing for a no-pressure quote, 801-232-5690. Call 801-232-5690 or go to IWCRoofingUtah.com.
It's been a rough winter for sure, but visitors are flocking to Box Elder County. Our feathered visitors, that is. Bear River Migratory Bird Refuge is busy hosting swans to swallows, geese to grebes. The spring migration is in full swing, and all that's missing is you. Box Elder County really is for the birds. Just a short 60 minutes north of Salt Lake, Box Elder County is the perfect place to make memories and celebrate spring, along with spending time with our feathered friends. You'll experience amazing restaurants and unique shopping. Come take a soak at Crystal Hot Springs, home to the highest mineral content of any natural hot springs in the world. Let the winter melt away as you relax and rejuvenate. Take in a theater performance at one of the live theaters or visit one of the fine museums. Visitors really are chirping all about Box Elder County. Check out visitboxeldercounty.com and see why Box Elder County is for the birds. That's boxeldercounty.com.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Heather Kelly.
We do have a report of a crash on I-84. This is in Weber Canyon. It's heading westbound just after you leave the Mountain Green area and head toward the rest area or Devil's Gate. It is causing a bit of slowing in that area, but I'm not sure which lane is blocked, so just allow a few extra minutes on your drive trying to get into Ogden. Otherwise, you're going to have a smooth commute on I-15, the east and west side belt routes, and I-80 through Parley's Canyon. Revere Health encourages you to schedule your preventative care and annual checkups to help increase the potential to live your most healthy and active life. Revere Health, your partner in health, your partner in life. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Sunny skies with rising temperatures today and tomorrow. Clouds move in Friday and Saturday, but temperatures stay warm with highs in the mid to upper 70s. Right now, 54 degrees, partly cloudy. I'm Dan Bomas from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio.
48 hours ago, I'm sure the town of Panguitch wasn't prepared with what they would have heard 24 hours ago, and that is that the potential for a dam break in that area. The dam is the Panguitch Lake Dam. The potential for that dam to go is getting very real.
Yeah, and when we say a 60-foot crack, I think it's probably important to talk about, is this a horizontal crack or is this a vertical crack in the dam? And it is a horizontal crack about 2 feet below the water line. So that's in part why they're trying to drain a lot of this lake, is to get the water down a couple of feet.
Yeah, relieve pressure from the dam, but certainly might not relieve pressure that towns folks might be feeling. About 2,000 people live in that area, maybe more. David Walker, you own an ATV rental shop there, American ATV Rentals, right on Main Street. Can you kind of fill us in on how residents are feeling right now about this? Are you on edge, or are you feeling like they've got it under control?
So I feel like they have it under control. If you know anything about the Panguitch Lake Dam, which I do happen to know something about it, it's an old earthen dam, and over the years they've added onto the top of it. So what we're looking at is one of the newer additions to the dam is a concrete wall. So you got a very large pyramid-based or pyramid-shaped dam, and on the top of it you have some smaller walls that have effectively raised the height of the dam, which raises the height of the water level. So, I mean, if you really know something about it, you realize that were it to fail where the crack is currently, you wouldn't get a wall of water that was as high as buildings here in town, but you may get some inundation into the streets. So as far as preparation, you want to be prepared for things like power outages, interruption of water. But generally speaking, you know, most of the townspeople that I've spoken to don't feel like it is a dire danger where you might, in fact, face a huge wall of water coming down the mountain at you, but rather it would be, were it to fail, most likely an inundation into parts of town, you know, that was very inconvenient and very messy, but hopefully not terribly catastrophic.
Can you give us an idea how far away the dam is from downtown where you're at?
Sure. So Highway 143 leaves Panguitch. It goes, winds through the mountains, and it follows the course of Panguitch Creek, about 18 miles. So we're at about 6,600 feet here in the valley. The dam and the lake are at about 8,200 feet. So the course along the Panguitch Creek, et cetera, is about 17 miles. You know, that the creek runs between the lake and town here.
David Walker,
and of course,
go ahead.
Were it to break, and were that top section to crack further, and the inundation were to accelerate, obviously, you know, it would come down that creek bed and into certain parts of town, because the creek does flow right through the north end of town. And so the waters would rise there.
David Walker is the owner of American ATV Rentals on Main Street, right there in Panguitch, just telling us moments ago that it's going to be inconvenient if it breaks, but you're not worried about a wall of water coming from that reservoir if that dam does go. Have you seen the crack, David? You sound very like you're an expert.
Well, you know, my background is in analysis and research, so when I learned about it, I did some analysis. And, of course, I've been to the dam numerous times. In fact, I've got a picture of it on my wall in my office as it overtops that very wall that we're talking about, because that's just part of how they release the water at times.
So when they do release that, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just wondering
so
how they're
that
releasing the water right now. How do they typically do? Do they have a release valve that they open up?
Correct. That is exactly right. So it's a normal. Obviously, having a crack in the top wall of the dam is not normal, but releasing water to control the water level is standard operating procedure. They do that periodically throughout the year, depending on lake level.
David, could you give us an idea of are the folks who live there, they at least have a few things packed in case they have to head out of town, or just waiting for word from the sheriff's office?
So, I think that most people are probably waiting for word from the sheriff's office. I know that people are monitoring those Facebook feeds, and I know that the sheriff's office also has a emergency notification system that you can sign up for. So I believe a lot of folks have signed up for that as well, whether it's a phone call or text message or an email alert should the alert level go from level 2 to level 3.
What about sandbagging? Is that something that you guys have mobilized into?
I have not seen any evidence of that in town, but I've been busy this morning, so I have not seen sandbag crews filling sandbags or anything like that.
How's the ATV rental business looking for the weekend? Are you a little concerned that people are going to stay away from that area? It sounds like they've closed that highway, but
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that as far as those the rentals go, David? It's your livelihood. It sounds like maybe it's your side hustle, but
Sure. No, it's my livelihood. As far as that goes, you just have to roll with it. The weather controls our fate. As far as other conditions like this, perhaps, it could scare some folks off. Hopefully, it does not. But it's a wait and see at this point. And again, as they lower the lake level, the danger will slowly dissipate, and hopefully the top section won't crack any further or fail further and cause any kind of inundation here in town.
How close are you guys to peak runoff when it comes to? I know you're pretty high up, so I'm curious what peak runoff is typically for you guys.
Yeah, that's a good question. This season or this time of the year, depending on the snowpack and what's going on, is the highest lake levels are being experienced now. Over the next 30 days, that type of thing. So typically, this is the time of the year when those spillways are open and draining level off the lake regularly.
David, you've been awesome. Thank you so much. We're going to keep your phone number handy. We're going to pass it to Jeff Kaplan's afternoon news team so they can dial you up as well to check on you and see how the rest of the folks in Panguitch are doing. David Walker, owner of American ATV Rentals, right there on Main Street in Panguitch, kind of giving us, I think it sounds like actually good news in what could have been a much more dire situation at this point, that the towns, the folks who live there feel like the sheriff's office, has had things under control as they wait and watch to see if that Panguitch Lake Dam, that crack, gives way. But they are reducing those lake levels to reduce pressure on the dam. It sounds like a really old dam, and he explained what I was talking about earlier, which it's had some additions, as old things do in Utah. We add on, and that's where that crack seems to be happening.
Yeah, he painted a very good picture. Really, as you were describing, you've got an earthen dam largely that holds back that reservoir. But then, it's built up with some concrete. The concrete, which is about 2 feet below the water line, is where it has cracked. And it's about 60 feet wide. Only about 10 feet of it is actively leaking from that crack right now. So their expectation is if it does go, you're not going to have the entire reservoir flood into this city. It'll just be the top 2 feet.
Okay, so what's on tap for us here? We're going to have the National Weather Service joining the show a little bit later on. They have issued a flash flood watch for that area. Obviously, that is in case that dam does give way, as David Walker told us. It certainly would probably flood the streets. So we're going to get their perspective on it. We're also awaiting a call from the Division of Emergency Management. We know their spokesperson headed down to that area today. He said there was a meeting at 9 o'clock. Wasn't quite sure when it was going to wrap up. But when he steps out of that meeting and can free up a few minutes, Wade Matthews is going to be calling the show and checking in with us and letting us know what he knows about that. So we've got lots more coverage on what is going on in Panguitch, Utah, a few hours south of Salt Lake City. It's a lovely, lovely place. That lake is amazing. Lots of people go down there to fish. Obviously, David runs an ATV shop there, a rental shop, so he stays busy with tourists as well. Not too far from Bryce Canyon, about an hour and a half outside of Zion National Park. So we are also on Panguitch Lake Dam Watch right here at KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Dave and Debbie go out of their way to make sure you hear all sides of a story.
They're working the phones to get several viewpoints on for you.
Hi, it's Tim and Amanda. We get you the full story, too.
We have you covered on KSL News Radio.
For the right repair and the right paint, the right choice is manufacturer-certified Martins Collision Repair. Hi, I'm Tiago Martins, and few have met the rigorous certification by Kia, Dodge, Infiniti, Chrysler, Jeep, Nissan, Hyundai, and many others. But it's one more reason that Martins is your right choice. Check online at martinscollision.com. On State Street in Orem and in Salem, we work with all insurance companies.
The right repair, the right paint, the right choice. Martins Collision Repair.
For the right repair and the right paint, the right choice is manufacturer-certified Martins Collision Repair. Hi, I'm Tiago Martins. Many shops have ASC and ICAR-certified technicians, but few have certifications by General Motors, Nissan, Chrysler, Hyundai, Jeep, and many others, making Martins your right choice. Online at martinscollision.com, on State Street in Orem and in Salem, we work with all insurance companies.
The right repair, the right paint, the right choice. Martins Collision Repair.
April in Utah means warmer temps, spring runoff, and yes, road work. For every spring surprise, rely on KSL News Radio. Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon cover what happened overnight from 5 to 9. Dave and Debbie and Boyd Matheson have in-depth conversation during the day. And Jeff Kaplan takes you home with his trademark Minute of News. All season, every day.
We have you covered
on KSL News Radio.
I wish I could get this stupid jar open.
Jars can be tough, am I right?
Who are you? And how'd you get in my kitchen?
It's me, Flo, and I'm here to grant your wish of easily switching to Progressive and helping you get a discount that honors the time spent with your previous insurer.
Great, but what does that have to do with getting this jar open?
Nothing.
So you can't open this?
Oh, I just do insurance. Jars I leave to the professionals.
Sign up for Progressive and opt into more savings. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Healthcare with human kindness is here. It's at Common Spirit Health. Hospitals, clinics, and caregivers all connected to advance healthcare in Colorado, Kansas, and Utah. Together, we have a common purpose, partnering with you in health and healing using powerful medicine, powerful technology, and the greatest power of all, human kindness. You'll know it when you see it, because human kindness is in every care site and in every caregiver. Common Spirit Health. Hello, human kindness.
If you're trying to decide which gutter protection to put on your home, don't just ask how they'll handle leaves. Ask how they'll handle ice. Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors, and that's right, ice. See, plenty of gutter guards are good at keeping out leaves, but most are made with flimsy materials that can bend, buckle, and break under the weight of too much ice. Kind of a big problem in an icy state like Utah, right? At RGS Exteriors, our exclusive gutter protection systems are built Utah tough. They're made with premium strength materials that hold up to 1,200 pounds of ice per square foot. Simply put, they're not going to budge. Our gutter guards are also certified to handle hurricane-level winds and rain. Mother Nature can't damage them. Guaranteed. Utah Tough Products. That's the RGS way. For a free estimate, call 801-280-3110 or visit rgsexteriors.com. That's rgsexteriors.com or 801-280-3110.
Hey guys, do you know your T-level? Revive Men's Health here in Salt Lake City is helping you take that first step toward better health and enhanced intimacy with a free testosterone level test, exam, and consultation. Plus, for this month only, qualified patients can kickstart their treatment with a free supply of ED medication. Call Revive Men's Health Salt Lake City at 801-263-7777. That's 801-263-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Any Hour Services can help unclog any drain in your house. Whether you have a backup, a clog, or a slow drain you want fixed, call Any Hour Services or visit AnyHourServices.com.
If you want to listen to Jeff Kaplan's afternoon news on your smartphone, that's super easy to do. All you need to do is download the KSL News Radio app. I have it on my phone. Dave has it on his phone. We not only listen to Tim and Amanda live every morning right on our phone and Jeff Kaplan's afternoon news, but we also check out the latest news stories. It's all right on the app. I mean, how handy is that? So download it today.
With the three things you need to know this hour, I'm Dan Bomas. First, opening arguments underway this morning in Chad Daybell's murder trial. Second, people near the Panguitch Dam have been told to be ready to evacuate. And third, Ukraine and China were on the agenda today for President Biden and the Prime Minister of Japan. 54 degrees, partly cloudy in Salt Lake City. And back to Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Well, it's adding up to be about $1,000 a year. The average American family now up to about $1,000 a year on subscription services. And mainly, this isn't because you want to spend that much on your subscription services like, Amazon and some streaming apps that you have. It's because you forgot. You forgot to cancel. And then the free trial is over, and then it automatically kicks in and starts dinging your credit card.
And then you have to jump through all the hoops to go to cancel it, which is never an easy process. It's never a big button in the middle of their website that says, cancel here. We're going to make it super easy for you. So then you've got to jump through all the hoops of canceling it. You've got to reach out, try to get a refund, which they'll do. I just had that happen to myself. I'm going to make a small little admission. I've worn a beard for years, Deb.
Go big. Just go big. Admit you screwed up. You screwed up.
I did. I messed up.
And it's not a little bit. It's not like a $5.99 a month renewal. This is massive. I about fell off my chair when you told me this.
I just got hit up. So I bought some beard stuff.
This is so crazy.
Beard oil, some trimmers. I wanted it to make, look nice. Well, I didn't realize. I thought it was a one-time purchase, but apparently I had signed up for it, unbeknownst to me, that I signed up for the week or the monthly subscription, $83.65
a month.
And yes, a month.
What are you doing with
in
that
vitamin beard growth oil. It was insane.
Aren't you embarrassed?
I was
Is
so
this a thing?
embarrassed.
Men, is this a thing? Does everybody out there
it's
sign
Rogaine
up
for your face?
Your beard is fine. I don't know what you're trying to
Well,
do
yeah,
with
because
that.
I've been using beard oil, growth oil.
So you get hit up for another $84 in a month for more beard oil.
$83.65. Okay.
Okay, and then so what happens from there?
So I have to reach out. I send him an email, and Debbie, so help me, it took me 3 emails to get this thing canceled.
You deserve that.
And you know what? Nobody deserves 3 emails to cancel
I'm just
something.
teasing you. I do agree that it should be a lot easier. I'm so stuck on this idea that you thought $84 a month was well spent on beard growth vitamin oil.
I didn't pay that originally because I got the introductory offer. It was the next month that came in, and I'm looking at it, I thought, what in the world is costing me $83.65? And it was like 4 different bottles of beard conditioner and oil and beard and scruff cream. I'm like, my goodness, folks. This is not Duck Dynasty over here. I'm not Uncle Phil.
Once they hook you. So let's break some of this down. This is where we're falling down on our $1,000. I think it's probably more like $1,200 or $1,300 a year. Say $1,000 because it's an average of $91 a month. It's just shocking. Subscription, streaming video services.
Big time.
I
have all of those.
When I run, you do, and I don't. When I run out of shows that I want to watch, and I don't watch them all. I just flip through them. I'm like, that doesn't seem like me. That doesn't seem like me. It's like I cancel the service. So I've been, I haven't had Netflix in probably a year.
Wow.
But I know.
Jeez.
Impressive.
That's incredible.
Paramount Plus and Peacock. Those are the two. So e-commerce sites like Amazon Prime, I canceled Amazon Prime, and I've been just fine. The renewal was coming up, and I think it was in the upwards of $100 for the year. And then a friend of mine told me,
"Don't look at me. It wasn't this friend.
You. It
was a different friend. Debbie has different friends that make mistakes.
This was a revelation. There must have been a huge light bulb that went off over my head. Like, how ignorant of the fine print can I possibly be? You can order Amazon stuff and get free delivery without Prime. You can order Amazon
that is brand new knowledge.
Stuff and get free delivery without paying the.
But not overnight delivery.
Sometimes I've got it overnight. You have to order like $35 worth of stuff, but I just let it.
That's everything on Amazon over $35.
I just let it build up in my bucket, and then I order. And I don't order. The nice thing about deleting the app, and by the way, obviously, if I don't have Amazon Prime, I don't have access to the music anymore, and I don't have Alexa anymore, which is just fine. I've done fine without her. I've gotten rid of all of that stuff out of my life, save the money, and also I'm not without the Amazon Prime on my phone, the app. I don't order from Amazon Prime that often. Just not. It's out of sight, out of mind. So that's been awesome.
You're the millionaire next door because you canceled this.
Shucks, Dave. Thanks for the compliment. Music, Spotify. I signed up. I'm on the $10 a month plan. I went big on that.
Sharing it with every single one of your kids.
But I took a hack from your book. I listened to audiobooks on Spotify.
Yeah.
Because it's included, and I've loved it. I'm listening to one right now on narcissism.
Well, that's amazing. You're obviously fine. If you're reading a book on narcissism, you're not narcissistic.
I'm listening to it. Costco, this is where you have totally financially
total failure.
Costco. I use my Costco membership. Well, I'm on my, am I allowed to say this? I'm on my ex-husband's account, and I love him for this. I love him for this. He's not booted me off the Costco card.
Was that in the divorce decree?
No.
I still get the Sam's Club.
No, he just knows my love of Costco. So I'm on his account, and this has been an amazing relationship. I just shop at Costco. He shops his. Anyway, but you have a Costco card, and you never go there.
Debbie, I haven't used it in years. What am I doing?
You got to go there and just cancel it.
You've got to audit. This is the key. You've
Bingo.
got to audit.
We were getting there. Talk about that. You go. You know so much about auditing. Tell us about it.
I've tried this. I've tried to list all the subscriptions and the things I've signed up for, and invariably, I will think I have a comprehensive list, and so help me, I'll be driving down the road. I'm like, oh, there's another one. It's the $83 Beard Club thing. There's always something hiding, and I don't have a spreadsheet that tracks it, or I don't keep my spreadsheet up to date well enough.
Well, some of them are renewed on your app, on your phone. Others are renewed over email.
Great point.
Yeah.
Great point. You have to think of all the different ways they ding you.
So I have a really good hack for your subscriptions. We'll talk about that straight ahead. But there's also a lawmaker here in town who's doing something about it, Dave, so you don't get stung by the beard oil renewal, the auto renewal subscription you didn't realize you signed up for. So we're going to go into all of that, like cutting costs, going right on the money to save yourself costs. It's a waste of money. You're just throwing away money. You're giving it to all these major companies. They could care less if you don't remember that your subscription is being renewed. Also want to remind you, in the 10 o'clock hour, the rest of the 10 o'clock hour, we're going to get with the National Weather Service. So in the 10 o'clock hour, National Weather Service calling into the show to give us an update on what is going on in the Panguitch area, because they've issued a flash flood watch for that area as they're paying careful attention to Panguitch Lake Dam. There is a pretty major crack in the dam. We heard from a store owner down there who's keeping an eye on it as well, because they've all been put on standby just in case that dam goes. They have to get out of town. All of that and much more throughout the rest of the show.
It's 10:30 at KSL News Radio. I'm Dan Bomas. KSL's top story this hour: the concern we're seeing about the Panguitch Lake Dam isn't anything new. KSL News Radio's Michael Commit reports Utah has a history of problem dams.
There were 4 dam failures across Utah between 1963 and the year 2000. There were a few fatalities in those, but fortunately, nobody has died since then. The last time a dam failure hit a Utah community hard was the Lob Detention Dam failure in 2012.
Garfield County warned people living downstream after a crack developed near the top of the dam at Panguitch Lake. Our top national story this hour from ABC News: the latest consumer price index shows inflation running 3.5% higher than the same time last year. Housing and gas were higher, while many other parts of the index came in lower. President Biden is saying prices are still too high for housing and groceries, but there has been some progress with rising wages. Your money at this moment: the Dow Jones average now down 499 points on the day. The NASDAQ is down 175. And our KSL weather: sunshine for the next couple of days, and it'll stay warm. That's next. KSL News Time, 10:32.
It's a priority for us at this station to bring you all sides of a story and to talk about the news fairly, completely.
Get all the facts and be really aware. Utah's Morning News with us, Tim and Amanda.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9 on KSL News Radio.
How often have you lost power to your home and you've thought, oh, I got to fire up the generator. Where is it? When was the last time I serviced it? And it just turns into a nightmare. You sit in darkness because you can't bear to tackle the generator problem.
You've got to get hold of Master Electrical's generator department. They are a premier dealer for Generac. They not only sell, but they also service and install. You've been talking about getting a generator for far too long. Now you need to do something with our friends at Master Electrical.
Yeah, it's a standby generator that is the key here. It's basically flip a switch and you are good to go. Master Electrical does all of the installation. Not only do they sell these, again, it's the Generac standby generator. They service it, they install it, they maintain the highest standards for homeowners.
And what I love about Master Electrical is they have different financing that fits almost any budget. We all have different budgets, and Master Electrical has those different financing plans for you.
Learn more at masterelectrical.com.
Devotion to country, service to Utah. Brent Orrin Hatch had a front row seat, watching his father serve our state faithfully in the Senate. A constitutional conservative and lifelong Republican, Brent Orrin Hatch is a champion for the rule of law. He's running for Senate to stop this lawless president from destroying our country from within. Hatch will fight to secure the border once and for all and take on Mexican drug cartels to halt the flow of deadly fentanyl. Brent Orrin Hatch knows the national debt is just as big a threat to national security. Hatch won't rest until the budget's balanced and won't cave to the big spenders in both parties. Pro-life, deeply committed to religious liberty, rock-solid Utah conservative. Brent Orrin Hatch for Senate. Paid for by Conservative Outsider PAC, which is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.copac.us.
Everyone's house is different, but they're all the same in one way. We all have those places where the Wi-Fi just won't go. I mean, for you, maybe it's the attic. For me, it's my basement. Well, if you had wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity, you could worry less about these dead spots. Finally. With wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity, you get fast speeds throughout your home, a reliable connection in every room, and power for all your devices, even when everybody's online. That's wall-to-wall Wi-Fi, only on the Xfinity 10G network. Get wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity for a reliable connection throughout your home now through June 21st. New customers can get started with gig speed internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and free Wi-Fi equipment included when you add unlimited mobile. Here's what you do. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, that's 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today.
Traffic and weather together are brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And here's Heather Kelly.
We still have delays on westbound I-84 through Weber Canyon. This is due to a crash right near Devil's Gate. That's after the rest area. And traffic is backing up toward the on-ramp from Mountain Green. So that's about a mile or so of stop-and-go traffic. So just allow extra time on your drive trying to get into Ogden from Mountain Green. I-15, though, looks really good northbound and southbound throughout Utah, Salt Lake, Davis, and Weber counties. For fabulous food, atmosphere, and tradition, visit Five Alls Restaurant. Five Alls offers memorable dining experiences for any occasion. Birthdays, anniversaries, proms, graduation, engagement, and more. Visit fivealls.com. Heather Kelly in the KSL Traffic Center.
Sunny skies with rising temperatures today and tomorrow. Clouds move in Friday and Saturday, but temperatures stay warm with highs in the mid to upper 70s. And right now we're at 55 degrees. It's partly cloudy. I'm Dan Bomas from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories on KSL News Radio.
One of the biggest line items when it comes to subscription costs are streaming videos. Most people have streaming services or video services. And then you go with Amazon and then Spotify's or music apps and then Costco. But a lot of these we might not realize once we sign up, we're going to auto-renew. And that's exactly what happened to Dave when he ordered some beard oil.
Listen. This was the surprise. I get hit up every single year for my Major League Baseball subscription. I forget about it every single year. $129 comes through.
That's insane.
And that's fine. I want to watch the games. I'm fine with that auto renewal. The beard oil thing was crazy. I've had a beard for years and years. And I wanted it to be a little thicker, a little fuller, a little more well-groomed. So I bought some stuff. I thought it was a one-time purchase. A month has passed. I haven't gone through a tenth of the products that they've sent me, and I get a bill for $83.65. I'm like, what in the world just happened? And I look, and they sent me beard oil, beard balm, scruff cream, growth oil, shampoo, and vitamin spray. I could bathe in these things for a month and I wouldn't use all of that. And sure enough, it was delivery every 1 month. They had automatically signed me up for the subscription.
Well, you probably did it and you didn't remember. And that's why
I didn't uncheck the box.
You didn't uncheck the box. That's why we got to keep track of what we're signing up for. And one hack that I use on my smartphone is I regularly check my Apple subscriptions. And you just do that in the settings. You just go to your settings and you can check your Apple subscriptions. I do that regularly just to make sure.
Nothing popped up.
Nothing popped up. But I really like this plan that State Senator Todd Weiler pitched and got passed during the last legislative session, where it puts it not on us, which we already should keep track of, but it puts it on the companies to remind us. And you talked to him this morning.
Yeah, it's something that he did with Representative Cheryl Acton. They passed HB 174. It takes place quickly. Here's Senator Weiler. I spoke to him earlier on what this law does.
The law requires, basically blatant notice, via an email or whatever, that there's an automatic renewal. And if the company providing the service doesn't provide that, then the contract can be voided.
This is something that just hit me up about 3 weeks ago, where my automatic renewal for the Major League Baseball season popped up. I'm like, oh, yeah, I forgot to cancel that. Oh, well, I might as well keep it. I wonder how common my story is. Like, well, I wasn't going to buy it, but, since it's already gone through.
Yeah, I think a lot of us have been victim, whether it's baseball or whatever. We see this. I did this last year. There was a VPN, and it was a 7-day free trial, and, I forgot to cancel it. And then, 12 months later, I'm still on this contract.
I do wonder how much of this is kind of the gym membership kind of thing. Like, hey, once we get you signed up, it's going to be miserable to try to cancel, or we'll just keep charging you. I don't care if we ruin the relationship, because we're just going to be pulling in so much money.
Yeah, I think the gym membership is the classic example, because we all get excited for about 3 weeks that we're going to get in shape, and then some people find out 3 years later they're still paying a monthly subscription to a gym that they haven't been to in 35 months. But what this bill does is it requires a clear and conspicuous disclosure in large type, bold font. So if you get an email with a bunch of, terms and conditions, this is going to kind of scream out at you what the automatic renewal provisions are.
I just got hit up with this. I'm trying to grow my beard a little thicker and fuller. So I did this. I signed up. I thought it was a one-time purchase. And then, unbeknownst to me, they automatically converted it into a monthly subscription. Then I got hit up with, it was $80 worth of beard oils. I thought, what in the world just happened? And it seems like this is something that companies are doing now, where it's just almost in the fine print, just like you were saying, they're slipping in this monthly subscription.
Yeah, and the other thing about this, even if you did intend to sign up for a year, this would require them to give you at least 30 days notice that the auto renewal is coming up. And, sometimes I've signed up for stuff, but then I can't for the life of me figure out how to cancel. And so now I usually when you're signing up, they tell you pretty clearly how to cancel. So I'll usually cut and paste that and put it in my calendar for with a reminder to cancel. But that's the other thing people do or companies do is they kind of hide the ball on what steps you need to take to actually cancel it.
So when does this go into effect?
It goes into effect next month. I think it's May 4th.
What if they don't comply?
Well, if they don't comply, first of all, our Utah Division of Consumer Protection, which is a state agency, they can enforce it. But what the law says is that the renewal will be canceled. If they don't comply with the terms, then the renewal portion of the contract will be void.
You mentioned some national companies. This isn't just for local Utah companies. National companies are going to have to comply with this.
Yes, they will. And, there might be a learning curve there. I think, and we got heavily lobbied against it, so I think that a lot of companies that know they make a lot of money off of this were paying attention. And but yeah, this a company can't say, well, we're based in New York, so this law doesn't apply to us. If they're doing business in Utah, if they're automatically renewing contracts for Utah customers, this will apply to them. For the Utah customers, this wouldn't apply out of state.
All right, what's your horror story?
Well, I kind of shared them. I mean, just your typical, sometimes it's a paid subscription TV channel or a computer service like a VPN or something like that. But I think we've all gotten caught in this trap. You click on something, and you're like, oh yeah, I'll cancel this. And I think I've gotten better. There was this app on my phone that would modify your pictures, and I signed up for it a couple of weeks ago on a Friday, and I canceled it on a Sunday within the 3-day period, so I was really proud of myself.
That's the key. You just got to remember. You got to remember to cancel it, but this law forces them within 30 days to announce to you, remind you that, hey, this is going to be automatically renewed, and if you don't, this is how you cancel it.
We are closely tracking the situation with Panguitch Dam down near Bryce Canyon area. The town has been, Panguitch has been put on standby, and just in case that dam gives way, because there is a pretty significant crack in the dam. Straight ahead, National Weather Service joining the show live because they've put that town on flood watch. Also, the Utah Division of Emergency Management joining us live. Wade Matthews, a spokesperson, is in Panguitch, who's at a meeting about the situation. We're in the 9 o'clock hour. He is calling the show as well with the very latest. Next.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Current events can have a lot of moving parts. Our job is to make it easy to keep up.
You're part of a bigger world, so spend 15 or 20 minutes here and be part of it.
Join us weekday mornings between 5 and 9 on KSL News Radio. With interest rates coming back down, I bet the real estate market will pick back up in 2024. We're already seeing that, Tim.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really matter how the market is doing when you have the right team. So if you're looking to sell your house, now you want to downsize or you need more space, you need the Stern team.
The Stern team has taught us, I can think of a handful of things that I would worry about if I was buying or selling, but there are 100 details that are involved in selling a home, and they have lots of people that are handling every detail so nothing falls through the cracks.
And they have so many different options. I mean, I worked with Cammie there at the Stern team, and she was awesome. But if you need an instant cash offer, you can do that. If you need to buy before you sell, you can do that. They have flexible fees.
They also have people that they represent that are looking to buy a home, so maybe they can make that perfect connection within the Stern team.
So don't put off selling your house or buying a house because you think the market isn't just right. The market is right with the Stern team.
Go online to sternteam.com or just Google the Stern team.
Transform your old, outdated kitchen with Half Price Granite. For a limited time, Half Price Granite is offering special pricing starting at $25 per square foot installed. That's lower than most big box stores. These prices are some of the lowest around. Granite, quartz, marble, and quartzite, all starting at $25 per square foot installed. Call 801-486-1700 or visit halfpricegranite.com. Half Price Granite, affordable luxury.
When the weather warms up, it's like a stampede, except instead of dust stirred up by hundreds of hooves, it's a cascade of phone calls to Advanced Window Products. This is Jeff Kaplan. Soon as the sun shines and the snow's gone, people want new windows and frames from Utah's #1 custom window maker, and the wait for installation grows longer. But right now, you can get near the front of the line by calling for a quote and get $2,500 off when you purchase 10 windows or more. That's on top of the incredible savings for the highest quality double-pane windows and frames, any style, any color. See, at Advanced Window Products, they actually build the windows here in Utah, they install the windows, and they guarantee them for life. There's no middleman, and they can pass the savings on to you. They even offer buy now, pay later. So get in before the wait grows longer and get the $2,500 off. Get your new windows this spring. Make the call. Advanced Window Products, 801-850-9100. That's 801-850-9100. Or visit AdvancedWindowsUSA.com.
Looking for a secure retirement plan without market risk? Look no further. Lyle Boss, president of Boss Financial, specializes in no market risk retirement strategies with guarantees of principal, guaranteed growth, and lifelong income. Join Lyle right here each Saturday and Sunday for his Safe Money radio show, and call him now at 855-355-SAFE for your complimentary customized Safe Money information kit and Safe Money book. Nothing but upside here at 855-355-SAFE.
Of course, on your phone, you have the KSL app, but there's a different app out there for KSL News Radio. It's specifically designed for all the latest breaking news, the push notifications. It's free. All you have to do is download the KSL News Radio app today.
With the three things you need to know this hour, I'm Dan Bonas. First, the concern over a crack in the Panguitch Dam. Not the first time a dam has caused worry in Utah. Second, members of the International Olympic Committee are touring Utah's Olympic venues today. And third, inflation's still running higher than the White House would like. Consumer prices are up about 3.5% over a year ago. 55 degrees, partly cloudy in Salt Lake City. And back to Dave and Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
Dave and Dujanovic. Dave and Dujanovic.
We began this 10 o'clock hour by taking you live to Panguitch and talking to the owner of American ATV Rentals. His shop is right on Main Street in Panguitch, David Walker, along with everybody else who lives in that area, keeping a close eye on what's becoming a quickly evolving situation with the Panguitch Lake Dam, and they were on standby to evacuate the town.
But generally speaking, most of the townspeople that I've spoken to don't feel like it is a dire danger where you might, in fact, face a huge wall of water coming down the mountain at you, but rather it would be, were it to fail, most likely an inundation into parts of town, that was very inconvenient and very messy.
And when we talk about this crack, it's very important to describe the crack. It's not a vertical crack. It's not a 60-foot crack from top to bottom. It runs horizontally about 2 feet below the water line. So that's where the crack is coming from. And then there's about a 10-foot spot where the water is actually pouring through the crack.
We're going to go live with the Utah Division of Emergency Management. They are on standby right now for us in Panguitch, joining the show in just a few minutes. Want to cut over first to Sam Weber. He's a meteorologist with the National Weather Service out of Salt Lake City. And hi, Sam. Saw that the National Weather Service tweeted a little bit earlier that you're putting that area under a flash flood watch or warning. Explain what's going on with that.
Hey, yeah, good morning. We do have a flash flood watch out right now for that portion, basically below the dam through the city of Panguitch, and that's really just there for basically getting things in place. If an emergency does happen with this dam, that the people who are downstream are aware of it, and all the emergency managers and emergency representatives for this potential event will be able to have that information distributed at a much easier clip through emergency notifications via cell phones, weather radio, what have you. So that's really why it's in place, is because the conditions are there. We talked with Garfield County Sheriff's Office and dispatch, and they had requested the watch just basically to get an elevated messaging here on the situation.
Are we dealing with peak runoff right now?
I think we're still a little bit away from peak runoff, but we are starting to get into that time of year. Our snow water equivalent for the statewide average has reached about its peak, and then, things are going to start warming up. So I would expect things to start, runoffs to start increasing here in the next, week or two.
So just to be clear, the flash flood warning watch that the National Weather Service has put out, it's not because of heavy rains coming to the area. It's specifically associated with that compromised dam at Panguitch Lake?
Yes, that's correct. The flash flood watch is out due to the level 2 emergency activation level there in Panguitch and within Garfield County, and that is coordinated with the Garfield County dispatch just to get that extra level of awareness here for the potential dam break.
You say it's level 2 out of what?
That I am unsure of. All I know is that we, at their level 2 activation, is when we start to get involved here at the National Weather Service to help increase awareness of the situation.
Sam Weber, thank you for joining us, meteorologist with the National Weather Service.
Let's go to Wade Matthews, who's on standby for us with the Division of Emergency Management. He's in Panguitch. We talked this morning, Wade. You said you were heading into a meeting in the 9 o'clock hour. Is there anything you can share with us regarding that situation that you learned at that meeting regarding the lake and the dam?
Yeah, absolutely. So, again, things maybe aren't looking as dire as they were yesterday, and there's a great team that are working together here in Panguitch, have put together a plan to try to mitigate the risk somewhat, which includes just continuing to draw down the reservoir as they've been doing since this started. They want to start cutting away the ice. There's still ice on the dam, which is putting pressure on the dam itself, and start cutting away the ice and reducing that pressure, and then bringing in some more riprap and some rock and things that they can put against the dam and try to reinforce that and give them a platform to work on as well to continue to strengthen the dam. The people downstream are still under an evacuation notice to be prepared to evacuate should the need arise. And if that need does arise, a notice will go out over the wireless emergency alert on cell phones. And right now we are planning a town hall meeting this evening at 6 p.m. in the Panguitch High School gymnasium for all the public that are in the area to just get more information from community leaders.
You talked about riprap. I don't think a lot of people understand what the patching of a dam may look like. Can you describe some of those mitigation efforts?
Yeah, it's essentially just bringing in additional material, and it's not dirt. Dirt would just continue to wash away. So we're talking about rock, and it's larger rock that would kind of stand against the force of the water, and then on that we can continue to reinforce it with additional material. So that's one of the plans for today.
Wade Matthews is with the Utah Division of Emergency Management. We talked earlier today. You're on your drive down to Panguitch. I know they called out for some resources there, specifically you to come help with communications, which is so important. They got to keep the public informed about what's going on. Wade, did you get the sense that this dam crack there at Panguitch Lake Dam started to happen quite rapidly? Because I remember the first notice going out from the Garfield County Sheriff's Office a couple of days ago, and then last night, I was sitting at dinner at about 6 o'clock, and I saw the second notice post, and it seemed much more dire than the first. Like they ramped it up pretty quick to a level 2. So what do you know about how quickly this has developed?
Yeah, I wasn't involved initially, but it has escalated quickly, and I think really out of precaution. We just want to make sure everybody's doing what needs to be done to mitigate this as much as possible. We want to make sure the public is informed and can take the right actions when needed, which would be, evacuation in this case. So it's, out of the necessity of caution that it's been escalated. But again, we're working today to try to mitigate that and hoping for the best, but planning for the worst.
Wade, as we were talking to one of the residents that lives kind of in the path of where this flood could possibly happen, he said that it's about 17 miles away. Is there a sense, or he estimated maybe a couple of hours they would have if there was a breach, if something happened? How long would they have as far as notice to be able to evacuate?
That figure is correct. We're looking at about 2 hours from the time that the dam breached till it reached the populated areas. And you were giving a correct description earlier, Dave, about we don't anticipate the entire dam to fail. It would just be an upper portion of the dam. But yeah, there would be about 2 hours notice. But that's why we want people to start preparing now. Still thinking about their disaster supply kits, their important documents, important items that are important, irreplaceable to them, and have those things ready to go if an evacuation order was given.
Wade Matthews, thank you for joining us from the Utah Division of Emergency Management. We talked to Wade a lot about Be Ready Utah, and he's coming to us live from Panguitch.
We'll continue to monitor that situation. We've got our eyes on another breaking news story right now, thanks to KSL Sports. Checking this out at KSLSports.com, just pulled up this story. They are citing a report that the Arizona Coyotes, the NHL team that is currently playing in a very small venue down in the Tempe, Arizona area, the Coyotes will play in Utah on the version of the 2024-25 NHL schedule draft. KSL Sports posted this not too long ago at KSLSports.com. And it says that the NHL is currently drafting a 2024-25 schedule that includes 2 versions, and one has the Arizona Coyotes franchise playing in Salt Lake City, Utah. This is huge news. We do know that Ryan Smith, the team owner of the Utah Jazz, has been jockeying for an NHL team. The funding mechanism is rolling to get an arena built of some type in the downtown area. What do you make of this, Dave?
Well, let me just clarify. It doesn't sound like the schedule they're making it would be for an exhibition game, which is fairly common. Teams come through and play exhibition games. Are you saying they are building a schedule as if the Arizona Coyotes had moved to Salt Lake?
For the 2024-25 NHL schedule
draft.
We'll break this down more during the break. Maybe we'll even ask Boyd to weigh in on this. He's a big sports fan. Boy, this has been a wild show. Hang on, folks. We still got an hour to go.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
It's 11 o'clock at KSL News Radio. I'm Dan Bonas. KSL's top story this hour, hosting the Winter Olympics in and around Salt Lake City is a spectator's dream because of how close together all the venues are. Olympian Trace Worthington tells David Dujanovic the International Olympic Committee is likely to approve.
From Deer Valley, Park City, Olympic Park, all the way down to the Delta Center, and then go south a little bit, obviously to Kearns and the Oval. We're very tight and compact for the Olympics.
Worthington says he's looking forward to the new sport of winter mountaineering, which has a lot of medal potential for the U.S. team. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. Former President Donald Trump says the Arizona Supreme Court decision upholding a law that prohibits all abortions except to save the life of the mother goes too far. Trump still thinks the issue should be decided by the states after the Roe v. Wade decision was overturned. Your money at this moment, the Dow Jones average down 427 points right now. NASDAQ is down 138. We're looking for sunshine the next couple of days. That's coming up next. KSL News Time, 11:01.
Here's a way to get breaking news updates anywhere you go.
At the store or in a work meeting, you can get breaking news on your phone.
You can quickly read it, swipe, or click for more. It's super discreet, super fast.
That's the app for KSL News Radio.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174. That's 800-230-5174.
Every year, we seem to have a few people trying to get our free furnace promotion after the sale has ended. What's up, everybody? I'm Mike Wilson with Any Hour Services, and I know you want to save as much money as you can, but that's not how sales work. When they're over, they're over. Lucky for you, we still have a few more spots on our schedule we need to fill, so I'm extending the sale, but I'm not quite sure for how much longer. Definitely no later than April 30th, and once I think our schedule's full enough, I gotta pull these ads, so don't wait too long to call and schedule your free estimate. Just to recap, when you have Any Hour Services install a new air conditioner, we'll give you a new furnace for just the cost to install it. About $400. The furnace is free, you just pay the labor. So if your furnace and air conditioner are ready to be replaced, don't be one of those people that wishes they had called and taken advantage of our free furnace sale. The estimate's free, and we'll make sure you have all of the information you need to decide if our free furnace sale is right for you. If you think you might be interested, call Any Hour Services at 801-443-7400. You can Google Any Hour Services. You can even schedule online at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
I just elevated my checking account with Utah Community Credit Union. Tim, I'm so blown away at what I get with my elevated checking account at UCCU. I get so many benefits. I get cell phone protection and roadside assistance. The one that blows me away the most is telehealth. I actually get zero copay telehealth with my checking account from UCCU.
Did you know you also get a 0.25% loan discount? It's one of the many things. And if you like to travel or you're on the road quite a bit, a free ATM nationwide. 30,000 ATM locations that you can use while you're out.
Utah basketball star Walker Kessler and Utah Community Credit Union have come together to announce this brand new elevated checking account with more benefits, more savings, more online protections than ever before.
Yeah, there's even something for dark web monitoring, which I have never heard of before, but you can find out more by just going to uccu.com.
And open an elevated checking account online or stop by any branch.
UCCU, you're going to love where you bank.
Traffic and weather together, brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. And here's Ricky Meese.
In Murray, we have an accident, 9th East and Vine Street. That's about 6,000 south. Also a crash. This is on the off-ramp from southbound I-15 to 2100 south. They are blocking a right lane of travel. And then unusual delays, heavy and slow traffic northbound I-15 going through Centerville up to Farmington. We don't have a problem reported. I can only see the delays in the traffic cameras. It may be a wide load, but this has not cleared out, so be prepared for several extra minutes to get through that spot. Murdoch Hyundai, home of Tucson SEL. Lease for only $375. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
Sunny skies with rising temperatures today and tomorrow. Clouds move in Friday and Saturday, but it stays warm with highs in the mid to upper 70s. 55 degrees, partly cloudy right now. I'm Dan Bomis from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories. On KSL News Radio, Dave and Dujanovic have inside sources.
You know where to be at 1 o'clock if you want the inside track, because you need the inside track from Inside Sources Boyd Matheson. Listening yesterday, he had Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, live on the line, and you so carefully orchestrated the conversation between Speaker Johnson and also Representative Celeste Malloy.
Yeah.
So great job with that yesterday, Boyd.
That's exciting. And when you talk about inside sources, this is what we're talking about, folks. I mean, it's not very often that someone like this can join anybody, no less here in Salt Lake City. Boy, this is huge. We're going to play a little bit from that interview, of course, but I want to get your initial reactions after you spoke to the speaker.
You know, it's so interesting whether you like the speaker's politics or not. He's from Louisiana. He has a very easy he has a very easy way about him. He's a communicator, so he's a words guy and understands that part of it. So it's always a very easy conversation. I thought it was really interesting just in terms of his whole approach, because what I really wanted to find out yesterday, I wanted to really understand kind of his governing philosophy. The politics stuff kind of comes and goes, but if you want to figure out where a leader is going, you have to kind of listen to how do they go about making decisions? How do they view their job? What's the criteria for making the crucial decisions and conversations? And so to me, that was kind of a fascinating kind of undertone that I've actually been going back myself and listening and saying, oh, it's interesting how he went here or didn't go there.
I was listening yesterday, and what I found myself thinking was that he's really grown quickly into that role. I was quite impressed with his response to your question about negotiating the budget. I mean, you know, because he had a lot of people in his own party calling him out, but it sounded like he really took a negotiator's stance on it. Did you have that same takeaway?
Yeah, I think he's very comfortable, and I don't think he's afraid of having the job or not having the job, which I find pretty powerful. If you're okay not being the speaker, then you can be a better speaker. And I think that allows him to say things like, okay, look, we've got a 1-vote majority. So
very clear about that.
That is like not having. That's almost worse than being in the minority.
He said it was the slimmest in history for the Republicans, and so you do have to work together. And he talked a lot about working together.
Yeah,
we have to face reality right now. We're in an unprecedented moment in the United States Congress. We literally are operating right now with the smallest majority in the history of the Congress. We have a 1-vote margin. That means that we want to move Celeste and I, conservatives. We're here in the Congress working with our colleagues. If we want to move legislation that is our preference, that advances all of our policies, we can only lose 1 vote in the House. And then the problem is, even if we pass the House, of course, the Senate is run by Chuck Schumer and the Democrats, and we know who's sitting in the White House. So we only have 1/3 of 1/2 of the federal government, and it's the smallest majority in history. So we have to be realistic.
Boyd, when you said he could kind of take or leave the job, that is in such a stark contrast to Kevin McCarthy, who was living and dying by becoming Speaker of the House in this almost the second that he no longer was. He quit Congress.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I think that's really interesting because the reason we have some of the drama that we're seeing unfolding right now in Washington with a single member of the House being able to call to vacate the chair was because Kevin McCarthy so wanted to be Speaker. He was willing to say, okay, because it used to be you had to have a majority of the majority party in Congress to vacate the chair. And now you only have to have one to do that. But that was because Kevin McCarthy wanted that job so badly that he was willing to say, okay, fine, I'll roll the dice. He rolled the dice, and it worked for 6 months, and then he was out, and then he was really out because he was no longer in that particular chair. I think one of the fascinating things about Mike Johnson is the fact that even today, we have all these calls from Marjorie Taylor Greene and some of those that are in that space, and he's sitting down having meetings with them today. That's an amazing thing. To someone who's threatening your job, someone who's saying, I'm going to call this out and I'm going to get rid of you, they're saying, come to my office. Let's have a chat. Because we have other things we have to get done, important things, including what they're dealing with this week in terms of this FISA stuff that we can get into later. There's some really crucial things on the table. And so he's saying, I don't care about all that. Let's do the work of the people. Let's let everything else fall after that.
I want to pay just a few minutes of attention to your conversation, dual conversation, not only with House Speaker Mike Johnson, but also Representative Celeste Malloy was live on the line at the same time, and you were bouncing back and forth between the both of them. And I thought Representative Malloy really has a grip on something that I think a lot of us feel right now. And she said she's hearing this from a lot of Utahns, and she spoke about this on your show yesterday.
As I'm talking to voters, they're feeling a lot of frustration. There's a lot of confusing, politics going on, and I think people are tired of having to pay attention to politics. They want us to do something good and definitive and put the nation on the right course so that they could go back to paying attention to other things.
Yeah, making politics boring again. I think it's not a bad slogan. Because if Congress does their job, and if the state legislature does their job, then people have to worry less about it. And so I think that's an important part of that is when the job gets done right, then the rest of us have to worry less about some of those things.
We've got a lot of other things to worry about in our own homes. I do want to pay attention, and I like that when it's transparent, but when it's the screaming and the yelling, it's just one more thing.
Because then you can't get to what matters, the essence of it.
I'm confused by what's going on. People are yelling at me about it. And so I also feel like it makes me feel disconnected from the real important things. So I loved that she brought that up.
I do think we have an endless supply of interest in policy. I don't think we have a lot of interest or patience anymore for the politics. And I think we're savvy enough as voters and as Americans to realize you are completely overreacting to something. Like this is not even registering on my radar, but I think we do want to ask the tough questions and figure out how are we going to fix the debt? How are we going to fix Social Security? How are we going to fix these things? We will brainstorm all day long. We have interest in that, but not just the pounding on the table.
Yeah, and things that are going to get you nice social media hits and get you on cable news. And I think one of the other refreshing components to Mike Johnson, and if you ever want to have an interesting listen, you should go back and listen to the first speech he delivered after he was given the gavel as Speaker of the House. It's really instructive, and I don't care what your politics are. It's a great speech. It's a very American speech. It's a very, this is who we should be about in terms of policy kind of speech. And it's worth going back to. I think it's pretty instructive to see how he's actually leading now. And the fact that he's straight up, and I actually, going back to Debbie's point, and to your point too, Dave, in terms of he respects the voters. Says, you're smart enough that I don't have to do the theatrics for you. I'm going to tell it to you straight. And he said it. He said, look, we can get 70% of what you want, or we can get 80% of what you want, or we can go over the edge together waving a flag. Mm-hmm. Great theatrics.
Yep.
But in the end, is that where you really want to go?
Yeah. Well, Boyd, thank you. And great conversation. You can find that at kslnewsradio.com if you want to listen to that. Boyd's podcast, of course, as well. This segment of the Dave and Dujanovic Show is brought to you by Window World. Replace your windows and doors without the hassle or baloney. Call Window World of Utah today.
Got breaking news, just learning moments ago that First Lady Abby Cox has undergone surgery on her spine. It looks like it happened this morning. The University of Hospital, a press release, the statement that we received from Governor Spencer Cox, and also The chief of staff at the University of Utah Hospital says that after weeks of debilitating pain, First Lady Abby Cox underwent surgery on her spine to remove what they're calling a degenerative discs in her neck. Of course, saying that they're very grateful for the surgeons and the doctors and the staff at the University of Utah Hospital for their attention and care, and that she's looking forward to a speedy recovery and also getting back to her duties soon. We certainly wish her the best as well with her recovery and hope that all went well during the surgery, but thankfully we're getting this information that she's made that decision to undergo that surgery, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it alleviates that debilitating pain.
Dave and Dujanovic.
Here's a trick to podcasting at work and getting all the Utah news you love.
Download the KSL News Radio app.
The podcast for Utah's morning news and Dave and Debbie are right there. Dozens of podcasts a day.
That's the app for KSL News Radio.
Tim Jr. here from RGS Exteriors, and I'm proud to tell you we don't lay off employees when things get tough. During the pandemic, we didn't let one of our installers go. Instead, we had them clean and remodel our offices so they could still get paid. Remember the 2008 housing crisis? It was a financial nightmare for even the biggest contractors. Still, we didn't lay off a single worker. Nope, we sacrificed profits to keep paying everyone. Look, when the economy's down, most contractors are quick to lay off their workers. It's the easiest way to save money when times get tight. But at RGS Exteriors, we're loyal to our people. You know why? Because it's the right thing to do. People first. People always. That's the RGS way. For gutters, siding, windows, and more, call RGS Exteriors at 801-280-3110 or visit rgsexteriors.com. That's rgsexteriors.com, 801-280-3110.
Ready to name an NHL team?
This deal makes too much sense, and an announcement could come by the end of the season.
Jazz owner Ryan Smith is warming up the home crowd with possible names for a hockey franchise. What's the future of the downtown, hockey in Salt Lake City, and Utah sports generally? Listen this week to KSL News Radio.
Odds are, if you have a 401k, it's set up with your payroll provider or an insurance company. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and if you're using your payroll provider or an insurance company for your 401k, the employer may be overpaying for the plan, the employees may have blasé investment options, and those blasé investment options may cost more than they should. Not with Trajan Wealth. Call us today, 801-899-7600. That's 801-899-7600.
Services offered through a third-party partner. Utah's strong winds can cause huge damage to your roof that you can't see. Your roof might need repair. Don't wait for a disaster. Call the Masters at Master Roofing for an honest inspection at 801-383-0072. Specializing in small repairs, Master Roofing handles everything from patching holes to full roof replacements. Schedule your free assessment at masterroofingutah.com.
Hey guys, do you know your T-level? Revive Men's Health here in Salt Lake City is helping you take that first step toward better health and enhanced intimacy with a free testosterone level test, exam, and consultation. Plus, for this month only, qualified patients can kickstart their treatment with a free supply of ED medication. Revive's customized ED treatments can provide immediate results, restore blood flow naturally, and even bring spontaneity back into your love life. With both in-person and telemedicine appointments available, plus free shipping directly to you, Revive takes the hassle out of treating low T and ED. Having an optimal testosterone level can change your whole life, and it starts with knowing your T level. Take that first step and book your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation, and kickstart your treatment with a free supply of ED medication this month only. Call Revive Men's Health Salt Lake City at 801-263-7777. That's 801-263-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Look, in a few minutes, we're going to talk about this big announcement that we're learning about the Arizona Coyotes, the NHL team. But you got to know that you can get this news right away on your phone. All you have to do is download the KSL News Radio app. We post stories there all day long, the stories you care about the most. And then you just sign up for notifications and bam, it comes right to your smartphone. So do that today. Download the KSL News Radio app and stay tuned. In a few minutes, we're talking about that Arizona Coyotes development.
With the three things you need to know this hour, I'm Dan Bomas. First, members of the International Olympic Committee touring Salt Lake City's venues for the Winter Games today. Second, opening arguments are underway in Chad Daybell's murder trial. And third, former President Trump says the Arizona Supreme Court decision upholding a 19th century abortion law goes too far. 55 degrees, partly cloudy in Salt Lake City. And back to David Dujanovic on KSL News Radio.
David Dujanovic.
Okay, we're going to get Jeremiah Jensen, KSL Sports, and the JJ and Alex show on the phone in just a moment because we got to talk about this story that we've been reading on KSLSports.com, quoting, Dave, walk us through what you're learning. It looks like we're quoting other reporting that's being done regarding the Arizona Coyotes.
Oh, my goodness.
What a day.
Okay, so much of this is rumor. You know, we're starting to get some real reporting out of this, but essentially, from my understanding, is that the NHL, who is preparing their scheduling for next season, they're creating two different schedules. One with the Arizona Coyotes staying in Arizona, and another one with them playing out of Salt Lake City for the entire season. That is a monumental shift. That is huge news if it's true.
JJ, you there?
Here, yeah.
Hi, what do you know? You know more about this than Dave and I do, so spill the tea.
You got it exactly right there. So the NHL has to have these plans in place because the schedules come out in June. The new schedules for next year, so they have to have them prepared and ready. And obviously that process has already started, and because of this situation, they have to have two different schedules. What does that tell us about the situation? I think it tells us there's a very real possibility that the Coyotes could be moving to Salt Lake City. If the NHL has to have two different schedule versions, then this is a very serious thing, and it's not just rumor like you're saying. There's serious talks going on here behind the scenes, and there's a lot of moving parts. And I would look at this, and you go back to Thursday in Arizona sports in Arizona, who's connected. They're the flagship station of the Arizona Coyotes. Their radio personalities, multiple, reported that Alex Marullo is shopping the team, both inside Arizona and outside. We only know of one person out there, one ownership group. I shouldn't say person, it's an ownership group that is bidding for a hockey team right now, and that's Smith Entertainment Group. It's Ryan Smith. And then on Monday, after all that stuff happened over the weekend, Ryan Smith goes on Twitter and he solicits names for the new hockey team in the new NHL hockey team in Utah.
It's a form.
And then
you can fill out a form.
Right.
It's such a hint.
And then what happens today, guys? There's another report from another NHL reporter, this one based out of Canada, almost echoing exactly what it was said by the Arizona sports guys, and then adding on this schedule quirk, and then saying that April 18th is a day that's very important. This is not rumor. There's a lot of smoke to this, and it doesn't mean it's guaranteed. There's still a lot of moving parts. As that article mentioned, the Coyotes are still trying to move forward with that land deal, but that bid's not until June 27th. You think the league wants to wait until then before they even know if they're going to buy the land?
There's no way.
The league is impatient. They don't want to wait. That's why there's two schedules drafted. So, and you guys also noticed that also what's thrown out there by both reports is that Marullo wants to move forward with that land deal because he's hoping to get the NHL back in Arizona once they get that developed. This is not about saving the team right now for the Coyotes. It's about seeing that they get an expansion team later on once they get the land and develop it. No one's going to come out publicly and say this. They don't want to say now that they're going to move the franchise because they haven't made that for sure because they haven't sold the franchise. But you see all the moving parts going on around that, and you know we're not dumb. We have logic. We can see what's happening here.
This is what I loved about our conversation yesterday. You were laying this out, and you said, "Listen, we have brains. We can draw a straight line from A to B, and this is exactly what is happening. Exactly like you described it. We're just learning more depth, more information about what we kind of have already been able to piece together. But this is kind of a new development, Jer. I haven't thought of it this way. That Marullo may say, fine, go ahead, take the Arizona Coyotes, and then once we get this land deal done, once we build a new NHL stadium, we will bring, years down the road, a new NHL team And that right there tells me what went from a possibility that the Arizona Coyotes move up here to Utah is it turns from a possibility to a probability.
100%. This solves the problem for the league in two ways. You spelled it out there. Yeah, this would be a way for Morello and to save face, to keep hockey in Arizona long term, but short term, their situation isn't feasible anyway. They're playing in a 4,800-seat arena called Mullet Arena, which we can't stop laughing about how ironic that is for a hockey team. But they're not even filling that. And the NHL's got, we're not even doing ECHL attendance here. The Utah Grizzlies have better attendance than the Phoenix Coyotes. Think about that.
Wow.
And Utah Grizzlies are a AA hockey team. So here's two birds with one stone. Okay, we have to solve this problem. We have to get this team in an NHL-size arena next year. We have $1 billion owner in Utah that's ready to buy right now. Let's sell this franchise right now. I'm sure this is what Gary Bettman is telling Marullo. You sell the franchise right now. Okay, we get this team moved. We get this thing moving forward so we don't have this problem next year. We have them on the schedule. We get everything moving forward. We make this happen this summer. NHL wants to come to Utah. Utah wants NHL to come. And then, Morello, you get your act together. You get this land deal done, and you build what you want to build, and we give you an expansion franchise 5, 6, 7 years down the road when you're done.
Well, I got to say,
doesn't everybody win?
Yes, JJ, and so does Utah. I mean, we've already committed through the legislature a lot of money, a lot of tax money to building a new arena, a new stadium, whatever that looks like in downtown. So lawmakers are behind this idea, which is huge. Which, by the way, we're talking to Jeremiah Jensen, the JJ and Alex show. You can hear him.
Let me add one more entity that's behind this deal, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who publicly put out a statement endorsing that
That's
legislation.
Huge. And by the way,
Think about that.
Just a stone's throw from probably where the stadium is going to go. I mean, it's just. So we're talking about this report that right now. You can find it at KSLSports.com. Coyotes play in Utah on version of 2024-25 NHL draft schedule. So Jeremiah has so eloquently pieced together all of the dots. I mean, this is, you're right. We're not Sudoku smart here. We don't even have to be that smart. Sudoku smart. We just have to, connect a few dots here.
We just solved the crime.
We've just solved it. Yeah. And I also want to say this about Arizona. It just can't all be on that owner. We're the fans in Arizona. I am so disappointed in my hometown of Phoenix with this. They also ran the Phoenix Cardinals around for 2 decades in securing a stadium for those an NFL team to play in Glendale finally. But that stadium went, I think, between Tempe and Phoenix and Scottsdale. They couldn't figure out. So that owner needs the support of the community there. And if he's not getting the support, well, then we'll take them. How's that? We'll take them. We're ready to go. The community has said, not everybody's in favor of an NHL team. I'll say that. I mean, bringing Major League Sports to Utah, we want to keep the town small. We love our small town, Salt Lake City. We call it Small Lake City for a reason. But hey, we're growing up. And if Arizona and the Phoenix area aren't going to support the Coyotes, we will. How's that?
There you go. And I think that's exactly what people in Utah will do. If this happens, if this continues to go this way and we do get this franchise, Utah's going to embrace it like they have the Utah Jazz and everything else. People don't understand, if you haven't been to an NHL hockey game at that highest level, just how incredible the game is and how great of an entertainment it is. And then you get to the Stanley Cup playoffs and it goes up 10 times from there. So it's going to be an awesome product if this works out. And it's something that the community can get behind, and we are ready for it. There's enough growth here, and there's enough hunger for more sports and more options as far as that goes. And we have room for them, and it makes a lot of sense. So it is, like you mentioned, Debbie, it's time for Utah to grow up. We're becoming a big city here, and it's time to show it.
Jer, thanks for joining us.
You got it.
You were right on. You've been right along every step of the way. So thanks for joining us, and Debbie, I'm telling you, this is such massive news. And as Jeremiah was describing, the win-win situation of sending the Arizona Coyotes up here to Salt Lake, selling it to Ryan Smith and the Smith Group, and then trying to get an expansion league, expansion team sometime in the future. This isn't just smoke. This is a wildfire that we don't see the flames, but it is just billowing out of the mountains.
Just make the announcement. Let's just make the announcement. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't have the inside track on that. I'm just reacting to stories that I'm reading. But JJ, thank you so much. You can hear him this afternoon from 3 to 6 at 97.5. Along with Alex. I don't know. Is Alex in town? Is he on? Anyway, I'm going to be listening at 3 o'clock today. This is huge news because I passed Alex Curie in the hall on the second floor, just a few weeks ago. And he's like, Deb, the only thing I've seen is in graphic form. I've just seen really pretty renditions. We've got to get past the renditions and we got to get the ball rolling. Well, the ball is rolling. And I think it's going to happen any day now, Dave.
Debbie, is an avalanche coming off the side of the mountain. This is moving so quickly. And if you're wondering how quickly, if Arizona Coyotes would come here, the transformation in downtown Salt Lake would happen overnight. It would be
amazing.
It would be a rocket ship launched into the sky. It would be that fast.
Okay, speaking of big news, we have had a show full of big news. We're not letting up now. Straight ahead, as we know, as we reported, the International Olympic Committee, members of the committee, very important members of the committee, looking in town over the next several days at several venue sites for us to host the game in 2034. And we've got CEO of Utah's Olympic Bid Committee, Fraser Bullock, calling the show next.
It's 11:31 at KSL News Radio. I'm Dan Bomas. KSL's top story this hour. Prosecutors opened their arguments in Chad Daybell's murder trial today, talking about 3 bodies, Chad wife's Tammy and the children of his second wife, J.J. Vallow and Tylee Ryan. Madison County Prosecutor Rob Wood said Daybell is a seemingly ordinary man. The proceedings being streamed live. There's a link at KSL.com. There are 2 versions of the Arizona Coyotes schedule being drawn up for the hockey season. One has the team playing in Phoenix, the other in Salt Lake City. The Daily Faceoff's Frank Saravalli reports the Coyotes could stay in Arizona, build a new arena, but the team owner has also been talking to Utah Jazz owner Ryan Smith. Smith has been asking for suggestions from the public about a possible team name for an NHL franchise. Our top national story this hour from ABC News. The Seine is an urban river running through the center of Paris. It's also the site for Olympic triathlon swimming events this summer. The Surfrider Foundation says bacteria levels in the Seine are alarmingly high, and that could lead to the swimming part of that triathlon being canceled. Summer Games start in just over 100 days. Your money at this moment, the Dow Jones average down 476 points on the day. The NASDAQ is down 161. And we have sunshine for the next several days, along with temperatures in the 70s. That's next. KSL News Time, 11:32.
News doesn't just mean information or dates.
It's the story of our local history being told in real time.
Be a part of the story. This is Tim Hughes and Amanda Dixon.
We hope to be a part of your story. We have you covered on KSL News Radio.
Whenever we talk about losing weight, we love the big numbers. We love the big eye-popping numbers. And I can tell you with Salt Lake City fat loss, I have one of those eye-popping number stories. In 60 days, I lost 57 pounds, and that was the reduction phase. Now I'm in the maintenance phase. So you're probably wondering, okay, how are you doing? Have you kept that weight off? Yeah, I've gained back 2 pounds. In 3 weeks, 2 pounds. I'm doing fine. I'm not too worried about this. But I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about how my body works. And Salt Lake City Fat Loss has done a wonderful thing for me. I feel better. I feel great. And I lost this weight without surgery, without injections. Those are the 2 biggest things people ask me all the time is, how did you lose it? Was it surgery? No surgery, no injections. Find out for yourself. Get a free consultation. Go to slcfatloss.com. That's the best way to learn about this program. slcfatloss.com is the website. Go ahead and schedule your free consultation.
Do you hear that? Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Utah, you love the spring, so don't spend it painting. Do what Mike did. He called Rhino Shield.
Our home is basically a contemporary with stucco finish, and we just started noticing that the paint was just fading and the stucco would just look like garbage. We had received a postcard from Rhino Shield, and we decided to take a look at it.
Rhino Shield ceramic technology is formulated for our unique climate here in Utah and is Class 1 fire rated.
The process with Rhino Shield and their crew, they were just very conscientious. We had problems in the past with painters. They leave debris and everything. Well, we didn't have that with Rhino Shield.
Now you can get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
The thing about Rhino Shield, the heat gain has been reduced, and we save $70 a month. You don't hear that about any type of paint.
Remember, Utah, this is a limited time offer, so call now, 435-246-4466 or rhinoshieldwest.com. That's rhinoshieldwest.com.
Go Rhino Shield.
Traffic and weather together are brought to you by Sinclair's DinoPay app. Save up to 20 cents per gallon. Here's Ricky Meese.
It's the final cleanup of a crash in Murray, 9th East at Vine. That's about 6,000 south. And we have a right lane restricted due to road work northbound I-15. It's right about Shepherd Lane in Farmington. Any backups in Centerville and Farmington on northbound I-15 have cleared. Put the equity in your home to work with a home equity line of credit and get 6.49% APR for the first 6 months. Learn more at cypresscu.com. Ricky Meese in the KSL Traffic Center.
KSL weather, sunny skies, rising temperatures today and tomorrow. Clouds move in Friday and Saturday. The temperatures stay warm with highs in the mid to upper 70s. And right now, 57 degrees and sunny. I'm Dan Bomas from the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios. Listen online at kslnewsradio.com. We're Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Dave and Dujanovic, your morning companions for talk, analysis, and key perspectives on Utah's biggest stories. On KSL News Radio, Salt Lake City 2034. In-depth coverage on KSL News Radio.
Members of the International Olympic Committee in town checking out the venues that have been kept up since 2002. They'll be down at the Delta Center later this afternoon. Taking a tracks train from Rice-Eccles Stadium. So, of course, we wanted to get Fraser Bullock on the line. He's the CEO of Salt Lake City, Utah 2034. Dave has been with the International Olympic Committee members this morning.
And this is major. This is huge. We do expect this to happen, that we're going to get the bid. We're trying not to jinx it a little bit, Fraser. We're trying not to, but boy, things seem to be lining up so well.
Yes, they are. Our guests are here. We're at Rice-Eccles Stadium right now. We've just done 3 hours of presentations, and I would say the enthusiasm is bilateral. We love the Olympic movement. They love Utah, and we're on a very good track right now.
What do you expect they will take away from this visit? It's several days. In fact, I think they wrap up on Saturday.
Yes, we go all the way till Saturday afternoon, and I think there would be a couple of things that are already shining through. Number one is the enthusiasm and unity that they're feeling from Utah. They commented on that this morning and how they can see and feel that unity. The second thing that they'll see is that all of our venues are ready, and they are spectacular. And the setting of the beautiful mountains, the valley here will I believe, will just absolutely blow them away.
Maybe you can speak to the venues a little bit more in depth about the investment we have made, because it has been millions of dollars to maintain and even improve these venues.
Yes. And first and foremost, these venues are community centers, community recreation centers, where we have thousands and thousands of kids recreate every day. So first and foremost, they're for our kids and for some of us who still participate in sport. But then the nice benefit is then they can also be utilized for the games. And so there are investments up until 2018. It was all funded by the endowment that we left behind from 2002. But since then, there have been, the state has allocated some money to be able to maintain the venues, both for our community and for the games.
Fraser Bullock is the president. He's the CEO as well of Salt Lake City, Utah. 2034, it's our bid to bring the games, the Winter Olympics, back to Utah in the year 2034. And Fraser, just remind us, when will we officially know that we have the games? Because right now, we're still in this sort of window where we're showing off Utah, but we don't have an official announcement, right, from the IOC?
Well, if you could pick one day out of the year to have that happen, it is July 24th.
It's crazy.
When we celebrate our heritage. So while Utah is asleep, about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, we'll be in Paris presenting on July 24th to the entire International Olympic Committee. And then if things go well, they'll take a vote. They'll vote Utah in for 2034, and we'll sign the contract right there. So when you awaken to the great celebration, Pioneer Day, we can really expand that party and make it even bigger.
Incredible.
I can't wait to see the parade. There's going to be so many Olympic-themed. It's going to be incredible. Hey, is there, as we look back to the Olympics 2002, what's going to be in 2034, there's going to be a lot more competitions. Are there any major venues that we're going to have to develop or build in the next 10 years?
Well, that's a very interesting question because we have 42% more events than we had in 02. Incredible things like slopestyle and big air and things like that. We don't have to build any new permanent venues. We do have to build a big air facility, which is just a temporary scaffolding structure, which will be right downtown Salt Lake City, bringing sport to the people. But we don't have to build any new permanent venues. We'll just utilize them at a much higher level than we did in 02.
Fraser, just real quickly, step back in time for people who are eyeball rolling at the idea of bringing another Olympic Games to Utah. Didn't ticket sales and sponsorships end up covering the costs? And remind us of how that worked.
Yes, this is all privately funded. We don't require any state or local money at all. It's the primary sources are broadcast revenue, sponsorships, and ticketing revenue. So we have a unique model here in Utah where we can support that on our own.
Well, best of luck. It's going to be a wild few days for you, I know. Fraser Bullock, thank you so much for joining us, President and CEO of Salt Lake City, Utah, as we're bidding for the 2034 Olympics, which, we're basically the only team in town. We're the only guys that are really in the running right now, so it looks amazing right now, and it sounds like so far things are going great.
So looking at the schedule for today at 4:15 this afternoon, they're scheduled to arrive at the Delta Center. That is smack dab in the middle of Jeff Kaplan's afternoon news, so he'll bring you coverage of that as well. They're going to be checking out the Delta Center. Of course, figure skating, if my memory serves, was held at the Delta Center in 2002. And, there could be a lot of changes between now and 2034. For example, if we build a Major League Baseball stadium on the west side, if we build a brand new jazz arena / what could be now an NHL stadium and arena for presumably what the a new home of the former Arizona Coyotes. That's not an official announcement yet, but that's just me anticipating that they're going to pull the plug on their home at Mullet Arena at Arizona State University that seats 2 people. No, it seats 45 people. Sorry, I misread that. It's a very small facility. That team's really kind of been pushed around with no real home down there. So we're reporting this morning that they've been creating a second alternative draft of the schedule for the NHL for 2024-25 season, and Salt Lake City is on it. So we could see a lot of changes. That's my whole point. So there could be other venues or other options to hold events.
Well, and this kind of stuff will happen over the next decade, but it's going to be much faster than the next decade. We're not going to see 10 years to get an NHL stadium being built. It's just won't take that long.
Yeah.
We're talking about a few years.
Former KSL5 television Olympic reporter Shelley Osterloh on standby. I want to ask her to weigh in on what she feels like the International Olympic Committee will be looking for while they're touring Salt Lake City, Park City, and beyond over the next few days.
Dave and Dujanovic.
A lot of us are filling our workdays with podcasts.
When you're working, go to KSLNewsRadio.com.
Click on Dave and Debbie's podcast and pick a topic and story length.
Podcast with Dave and Debbie. Then get to work with KSL News Radio.
Want to keep your gas-powered engines running like new? Stable's proprietary formulas are proven by third-party testing to outperform the competition in keeping fuel fresh, preventing corrosion, and cleaning the entire fuel system. With Stable, you can have confidence you are doing the right thing for your engine's long-term health. Just pour into your gas can or fuel tank, then top off with fresh fuel. At every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable. Available where fuel additives are sold.
Savings. Now that's speaking the Lowe's language. And with My Lowe's Rewards, your savings just keep coming. Save money with member-only offers and earn points when you shop. More points equal more rewards just for you. Because Lowe's knows you earned it, literally. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowes.com/MyLowe'sRewards. Program subject to terms and conditions. Points are awarded on eligible purchases. See Lowes.com/terms for full details. Subject to change.
Les Olson IT is your source for top quality technology. We carry the latest desktop and laptop PCs in stock, configured to your specific needs, and backed by our award-winning support team. And if your business demands high-performance hardware, we offer custom-built computers that can tackle any task. We also offer great computer accessories like monitors, keyboards, speakers, Fujitsu document scanners, and more. Get a quote today.
Les Olson IT.
Advertising used to be simple. Your options were radio, TV, newspaper, and let's not forget the yellow pages. Now it seems like a tidal wave of options. Podcast, cable TV, streaming, OTT, CTV, audio networks, smart speakers. On top of that, you need digital marketing for your website along with SEM, SEO, display, video, YouTube, email, and all the social media platforms. Look, you're the expert in your business. Wouldn't it be nice to have an expert to market you? We are Bonneville Salt Lake, the local marketing and media company you know and trust. We reach customers across all digital and social platforms and have the reach of traditional advertising available as well. We find your customer anytime, any place, anywhere on any device here in Utah or anywhere in the world. We work to optimize your results with our in-house local team of experts, providing you with qualified leads, not just impressions. Contact Stephanie Palmer at KSL for a free consultation, including a complete digital audit with no obligation or cost to you. Email spalmer@ksl.com. That's spalmer@ksl.com.
Hi everyone, it's Congressman Blake Moore here. As I've listened to your concerns during my recent in-person and telephone town halls, one thing is clear. Utahns are concerned about border security. According to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, the Biden administration's policies have allowed for over 8.5 million encounters nationwide, including over 7 million at the southern border, more than ever before in American history. Record amounts of fentanyl have come through our borders and led to heartbreaking outcomes for families who have lost loved ones to overdoses. For the sake of our community's safety and national security, something must change. This is why House Republicans swiftly passed the Secure the Border Act of 2023 to strengthen our southern border with new technologies, increase the number of Border Patrol agents, end catch and release, and require transparency from the Department of Homeland Security. I will keep fighting to make First District communities safer, and I encourage you to sign up for my weekly e-newsletter and follow me on social media at Rep. Blakemore to stay updated on my efforts. Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
Getting help with electrical repairs is easier than you think. All you have to do is call Any Hour Services or schedule an appointment at anyhourservices.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
This is Derek Miller speaking on business. Westminster University is a private, independent, and comprehensive university dedicated to student learning. Dax Jacobson, Dean of the Bill and Vive Gore School of Business at Westminster University, joins us with more.
At Westminster University, we are dedicated to providing distinctive academic programs that prepare students for lifelong learning and help professionals adapt to a changing social, technological, and economic world. In addition to traditional undergraduate and graduate business programs, we are a pioneer in online, project-based undergraduate business courses and degrees. For example, our Bachelor of Business Administration degree is an online program that takes us 12 to 18 months to complete, ideal for working professionals and adult learners. Rather than attending lectures and taking tests, students receive one-on-one mentoring from faculty as they complete real-life projects that are relevant to their career, skills, and interests. Plus, thanks to a generous donation from the Fenton Family Foundation, BBA students can apply for a scholarship that reduces the cost of the program to as little as $2,500 per semester. Visit westminsteru.edu to learn more.
If you're seeking to complete your degree, progress in your career, or simply enhance your skills with the convenience of an online program, Westminster's Bachelor of Business Administration might be for you. I'm Derek Miller with the Salt Lake Chamber, speaking on business.
Dave and Dujanovic.
We've had two really big sports-oriented stories developing all morning long. Let's start first with the International Olympic Committee and members of that committee in town touring the venues over the next few days that will eventually host, if we get the bid officially, the 2034 Winter Olympics.
Joining us right now is Shelley Osterloh, formerly of KSL TV. Shelley, you and I have crossed paths for a lot of years over the Olympics, and I've loved this. This is so exciting. Debbie's trying her best to jinx everything, saying, "Oh yeah, this is a done deal. It's over." Where do you land?
Do you think we have it in the bag, Shell?
I think we're close, but we can't say for sure until that July announcement comes along because we don't want to jinx it. But I'm pretty darn sure it's going to happen.
Okay, so let's walk through some of the venues. You've been around the world covering Olympics. Can you compare the venues and what we've done over the last 20 years to keep them up to date, to modify them, to renovate them, and compare to what happens in other countries where they kind of fall into disrepair?
Yeah, they definitely have done that in a number of places. I think the really the unique thing about Salt Lake City is just the layout and formation of all of these venues together. Every place from Provo up to Snow Basin, Ogden, from, all of them are within an hour from Salt Lake City, which is quite remarkable because usually you have to go 2 or 3 hours to get to the ski venue, and they'll have the skating in another city, and, they're spread out much more. And so it's great for the athletes, great for the spectators, and all of that is within 15 minutes of an international airport. So our layout is incredibly unique. And the Utah Sports Commission has done an amazing job in keeping these facilities up, adding to them. They've made great improvements up at the Utah Olympic Park where all the sliding events are. They now can hold, they have training for alpine, and they have new freestyle aerial places. And we have a wonderful situation and setup for the Olympics. And I think that the IOC members are going to be very impressed when they come here. We're really very fortunate that the original organizers from 2002 managed to put money in place so that these facilities could continue on and have ongoing money to keep them up to date. So I think that's what the IOC is going to be very impressed with. And secondly, I think they're going to be enthusiastic about the enthusiasm that they see here. because a lot of people are showing up to say, we want them here, we're ready for them, bring them on.
Shelley, it doesn't sound to me like we can do much to screw this up. It does feel a little bit like maybe we're meeting the in-laws for the first time, but you've covered the IOC for so many years as the Olympic reporter for KSL 5 TV. This it really does seem like we're going to be putting our best face forward the next few days.
Yes, it does. And I'm really glad that they're going to make a decision early and that we'll have 10 years to put them together. Because they're, you may recall 2002, it was right after the bombing of the towers and 9/11 events. And they just scrambled like crazy to put security, high security in place. And things like security and transportation takes a long time to kind of develop those plans and have things in place. And we'll have time to do that this time. And I think that's really a plus for us. And hopefully we'll have the federal money to do it.
That's right.
We'll take money wherever we can get it. Shelley Osterloh, thank you for joining us, my favorite Olympic reporter.
Other big story.
You're kind.
Yeah, Shelley, always love talking to you, my friend. Thank you so much. Other big story developing today is that the NHL is drafting a 2024-25 schedule that has Salt Lake City as home of the Coyotes from Arizona. Would you say that, Dave?
Everything is coming together in Dave's best case scenario today. Like everything, I'm hitting jackpot after jackpot. Bingo. John Smith joins us from the Arrow 103.5. Now, John, I didn't realize this about you. You're a huge hockey guy.
Huge hockey guy. I was fortunate enough to be the emergency backup goalie for the Utah Grizzlies for 7 different seasons.
Stop it.
Yeah, I mean, literally, you don't do
those
anything.
Are used occasionally.
Very, very rarely.
Okay.
So
yeah, you suit up for the team and you sit on the bench and you get the best seats in the house. It's really the
John,
way to play.
John, I mean, love listening to you on the Arrow 103.5, but if you were a betting man, what would you think the odds were that Utah is going to have an NHL team heading our way in the next couple of weeks?
Well, looking at the facts, right? Okay, the Phoenix Coyotes is the team that everybody's kind of pointing at. The NHL has drafted 2 different versions of the schedule. One is where Phoenix stays in Phoenix, and 2 is where Phoenix relocates to Salt Lake. The Phoenix Coyotes, this has been a troubled franchise. Like, they've been around for since 1995, so almost 30 years. And every 6-7 years or so, the team gets sold, the team goes bankrupt, the team switches stadiums. At one point in like 2018, they got locked out of their stadium because they hadn't been paying taxes. And so, they've been a really troubled franchise, and people in Phoenix just don't really seem to be magnetized to hockey.
Yeah. They have a lot going on down there. They have a Major League Baseball team. They have an NFL team. They have an NBA team. And
right.
I wonder how much of it is just oversaturation of sports.
And it's the desert, man. It's 90 degrees in the shade in this time of year. You don't want to go watch hockey in the middle of an ice arena.
It does seem to be a little bit of a disconnect, just having grown up there, that a hockey team would be able to attract tens of thousands. They're having a hard time seating the little tiny arena that they're playing in right now.
Yeah.
At Arizona State University. I think this is just absolutely ripe to happen. I just want them to rip the Band-Aid off and make the announcement, because we've been talking about this for quite some time, and we've got this, we've got the mechanism in place to fund a stadium. We've got a Jazz owner who wants an NHL team.
Yeah,
it just seems like a perfect storm for all the right reasons for Utah to get this team.
And
John?
Utah's growing, man. I mean, with the Olympics coming, we're talking about getting a baseball team. We're talking about, relocating certain other things. It would be really cool to have an NHL team in town.
John, in the final 40 seconds that we have, I got to talk about an arena.
Yeah.
What do you see? How would we make this work?
I mean, they could play at the Delta Center. I mean, the Golden Eagles played at the Delta Center for years and years and years, and
not a great hockey arena.
You'd be surprised, knowing that the Delta Center and knowing ice the way I do. I know that when the Olympics were going and when they do figure skating and stuff like that, they consider it some of the best ice on the planet.
Really?
So people love to skate at the Delta Center. So
that's great news.
We actually did a cool stuff in Utah episode on it. You can actually go check that out on YouTube.
On the cool ice that we have.
Yep, absolutely.
John Smith, thank you so much for joining us from the Arrow 103.5.
I love that you just ran down here from your studios up on the second floor to
I'll
be
talk
with
hockey.
us. I know. I
love
it.
hockey. I'll talk about it all day.
Well, don't go far because we're hoping in the next few days here we get some sort of a big announcement. So we'll want you back on the air.
Yeah, you know where to find me.
I know. Well, I'll come up and find you in the Aero studio.
It is looking good.
Well, if John Smith, what did you say? You were a backup goalie?
Emergency backup goalie.
Oh, awesome.
Like third string.
I mean, come on, third string. I mean, you know that there's got to be something brewing. Thanks, John. We love you too. So thanks for joining us. Hey, Maria Shaleo. So you thought we had a packed show, folks. We're going to go take a breath here and give the microphone over to Maria Shaleo. She's going to have a packed show too. In fact, she's going to take you to Boise, Idaho, where our very own Adam Small is covering the trial of Chad Daybell. Next.
KSL FM Midvale.
KSL Salt Lake City.
From the KSL Common Spirit Health Studios, this is KSL News Radio.
Utah's news, traffic, and weather station.
Good afternoon. KSL News Time is 12 o'clock noon, and this is Utah's Noon News. I'm Maria Shaleas. Nice sunshine in downtown Salt Lake City, 57 degrees. KSL's top story this hour, opening statements were made today in the Chad Daybell trial in Boise, Idaho.